All right. I know people will be looking for ASMR, but I've literally just managed to sit down. I've been fiddling about with my desk. One of my screens stopped working, and apparently it's the display port cable, which I've just managed to diagnose, swap out for a trusty old HDMI, which is working, and I guess I'll have to buy another display port thing and figure out if it's the port on the monitor or it's the cable itself. I hope it's the cable, obviously. But yeah, so I've just been rushing around, barely had time. This is unadvertised, but it's 5, not a minute too late, so I don't want to see any joking around that I'm late, because I'm clearly not. Anyway, hello everybody. Yeah, rough week for Guild Wars. Very rough week for Guild Wars. Rough week for me as well, standing out against the community. Something I occasionally have to do when I believe in what I'm talking about. Lost a lot of support, all kinds of things going on. I don't want to get too bogged down in the mount discussion today. I'm a little bit scared as well, because in a live format, I end most streams as it is, regretting and concerned about things that I say off, you know, just that comes out of my fucking mouth when I'm not, you know, particularly cautious. Let alone now. What I'm really concerned about on this stream is being condescending or arrogant or, you know, rude to people who I just don't agree with. So I'm going to try and jingle my keys, much as Guild Wars 2's launch was a distraction from Gem Store stuff back then. I'm going to try and have this, a good jingly key in front of this stream, where we do something very clear and cool that hopefully will take the majority of the discussion. I'm not saying that the mount thing's off topic, but yeah, I'm just going to have to be a bit cautious about how I speak about and what we do. So anyway, welcome to the stream, everybody. ASMR, blah, blah, blah. This isn't, it's not even ASMR, it's just a weird, stupid cat voice. Or like the voice you'd give to someone speaking to a cat. Anyway, I'm going to go, get some coffee. I just made a cup maybe half an hour ago, but the water was lukewarm for some reason, so I don't know what was going on with my kettle there. It's like everything's breaking. The other thing that's broke is my speakers. And I have no idea why they did it, but I was playing around, and you might think this is really stupid. I unplugged the speakers, turned the power off of the speakers, moved them around and stuff, maybe 3 to 4 minutes after turning them off and unplugging them, I pressed my finger against the power port on the back of the speaker, and I got an electric shock from it. It felt like, you know when you rub your feet on the ground and then poke someone? It felt like that, but maybe like 10 times worse. So nothing really bad, but it friggin' electrocuted me. So anyway, now I'm concerned about those stupid audio engines. They were expensive. Well, for me, they were expensive. They were like 100 quid a while back, maybe 2 years ago. I wouldn't want to see that they've already gone up the duff. So anyway, yeah, everything's is WP learning about capacitors? I guess so. So anyway, I'll see you guys very, very shortly. Enjoy the intro. I will stay with PokeCam as well. I think that'll be fun. So I'll see you guys very shortly. Oh my god, do you know what as well? I've been messing about with this microphone loads today. I'm really happy that OBS just instantly was working there, because I didn't even verify if it would. Oh my god, okay, well, disaster avoided on that one. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome. Didn't get coffee in the end. Just a cup of Coke. No, a can of Coke. Just a cup of tea, my love. Anyway, so how's it going, everybody? I hope we're all doing well. I'm just setting some stuff up in game, and then we'll be throwing ourselves in. Now, the big thing I really want to look at here is kind of prep for an upcoming video, and that would be prep on what the hell else they put in the patch. Because if you look at the patch notes, they actually were very non-specific about the changes. Now, I know that current events seem to have come back. I know there's that stuff about the Lady in Red and the Grent statue and all of that goodness. That I want to look at as well. But I'm talking just their general vague comments like, hey, yeah, we improved rewards here. We, you know, changed this. We changed that. What did they change? That's what I want to know. So we're going to be trying to look at that stuff and wrapping our head around it. And figuring out if this is this kind of like a sneaky POF 2.0 kind of thing? Do you get what I mean? Like, not to the extent that Heart of Thorns was a revamp of reward systems and stuff, but was this the Path of Fire equivalent? And that's what I'm very curious about. So we'll be having a look there. First, I'll just say hello to people in chat. How's it going? It is dark, it's raining, and it's stream time, so yay. Yeah, here's the funny thing, guys. I don't know whether you guys have really been consistently watching these streams, but over the past 4 to 5 weeks, I've been pointing out the state of the sunlight out my window. Because it feels like just a few weeks ago we were in the middle of summer to me. And, oh god, that friggin' sub there scared the hell out of me. What was that? Let's have a look. I've actually got my stuff open here. Ultimate Quest 0. Oh my gosh, dude, 12 months. I feel terrible because you've got 12 months and I don't even, like, recognize your name that, not at all. But, like, a lot of people, when they hit 12 months, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you know, I remember seeing them over and over and over again. You've done 12 months, and I feel terrible because I'm like, I think I've only seen or remember a couple of situations where you'd resubbed. You must be doing it a lot when I'm not live. In any case, thanks so much, dude. Happy 1 year of Twitch and Patreon. Thanks for all of the great work. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome. And Nexotara as well a second ago as well. Felahar as well, the dad guy. Wow, a lot of you guys actually. Hello, said the dad guy. Hello to you too. Felahar said, yay, my 2-month streak has resumed. So congrats there. Oh, and Eliel's 1991 for their 14th month. Guild Wars 2 patch. 14 months. Jesus, you guys are getting well on there. Holy shit, we had a host. Oh, no, that was ages ago. That was 5 days ago. Never mind. In fact, loads of those were 5 days ago. I don't know why I'm reading all those out. Hopefully I read them before. Scenario. When can I expect the potato cookies to come? Dude, potato cookies, they don't sound very good. Do you mean just regular cookies that are shaped like potatoes? Or do you mean actual cookies made of potato with chocolate chip and sugar? I don't know whether that sounds very good. Someone should make a jacket potato, like a baked potato. But instead of buttering it, you use Nutella and then beans and cheese. Let's do it, baby. And then sprinkle a little bit of caster sugar on that bad boy at the end. Granulated sugar, actually. Go granulated. Beautiful. Anyway, enough of disgusting things. What was I saying? Oh, I forget. Oh, yeah, the sun. Yeah, I don't know. Each stream, it's got... First of all, it would be light when the stream ended, right? The sun would be up when I'd start streaming at 5. It would end when it would still be up when I finish at 7. Then I noticed it started getting dark. It was getting kind of dark by the end of the stream. Then it was fully dark by the end of the stream. Today, this is the first time. It wasn't this case last weekend or on Monday. Today, it is dark outside at the start of the stream now. 5 p.m., it's dark out. And this might be boring to anyone who lives in the UK or, you know, northern reaches of Canada or, you know, Scotland and beyond and certain areas of Scandinavia and stuff, fine. But for anyone a lot more south, which is the vast majority of Americans, you probably have no perspective on how much that shifts throughout the year, whether the sun is up or down. Like, it's pitch black out right now. Pitch black. Anyway, but we get a lovely warm climate, nonetheless. Be honest, WP, have you seen the sun today? Ooh, I don't want to talk about that. We're not going to talk about it. Hey, WP, you should do an IRL stream where you eat different foods. Don't enough people do that already? The last few streams started early too. Yeah, some of them have, definitely, and that for those we can disregard them. But even ones that have started, I think Monday's one was started on time, didn't it? It didn't start early. If you lived in Tyria, which Elder Dragon would you fear more, Kralkatorrik or Primordus? Primordus, because Kralkatorrik, you have a very significant indication of where he is and the reach of his minions. Primordus could pop up anywhere at any time. Primordus is, as an underground dragon, so much more threatening and scary. It's one of the reasons why I prefer him to pretty much all the others. I think he's really cool. And the movement of the world description of the influence of the deep sea dragon, before a lot of that stuff was kind of reduced, I guess, if you will. That also kind of had a similar thing going on, where it's like tendrils could come out of any lake or stretch of water. You know, things like that. So anyway, let's go in game. We've seen enough of my ugly mug here. Like here, you see the just like, oh, could the deep sea dragon come out at any point? To be honest, all the dragons are lazy asses. Perhaps, indeed. So yeah, what else? Here's what the potatoes look like in Dwarf Fortress. Sorry, unless you are a sub, I don't think you can post links. What else have I missed that people have said? It's coming up my favorite time of year for being comfy as fuck, watching streams and relaxing. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not much of a winter person, but I have many happy memories sitting in dark rooms that are brightly lit, playing games in the warmth as the chilling rain rattles against the window. It's good. I'll tell you what, a lot of my happiest memories are basically that situation, with gaming at least. Did you read about the new selectable exotic elite spec collections as a reward from the metas? Yes, I did. So basically, guys, one of the metas, all of the metas, I don't know. This is kind of a discovery stream. This is not a stream where I go out being an expert and, oh, look, guys, I'm going to teach you. This is, I don't know what I'm doing, and I want to talk to you all about what happened with the patch. But apparently, one of the metas, at least, drops an exotic that you can select any of the exotics associated with these. So like you could get not the cutting edge, but you could get the Hollowsmith sword, I guess. Is it the Mordant sword? The Hollowsmith sword? It must be the Mordant sword, actually. I thought it would have been this, but it must be the Mordant sword. This you get from starting elite specialization, but that's not that exciting, is it? The DLA said, so glad for the video of Boots. This noob needs help with the patch changes. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm really happy with that video of Boots. It's a great format. It's actually the second really solid format Boots and I have sort of stumbled our way onto. And no amount of leaks are actually going to take this one away from us. It got good viewership. It got genuinely good viewership. Lots of people liked it. And, you know, importantly for me, people don't like facing this, but, you know, importantly for me, it's a format that's quite easy to put out. You know, as long as Boots is available and I'm available for Boots, as long as that's going on, it was a really solid format. We're going to twist it slightly next time we do it so that we'll be slightly more informed. But yeah, really, really good. For a little bit of perspective, I did another big, for people who have got no idea, and it's, you know, months later, and you're finally watching this on Wooden Potatoes 2 or something, this week I did a big video about kind of a large controversy to do with the gem store update on this patch and mount skins and the way that the devs did them. And, you know, it was a huge, huge, huge video. But for comparison, they're both tied for views. The podcasty thing I did with Boots is tied for views with that other video, the Mount Gate video. So, you know, it's a good format. It's a solid format. People have really liked it. I have no doubt that the Mount one will get bigger over time, but for now, at least. Anyway, I'm scrolling down. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Scrolling. It gets dark here too early and you hate it? I like it. I don't know. I think it would be boring living in a world where it's 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night, 12 all year round. Essentially, like, I don't know. I like the extreme differences. I loved, like, when the snap election was called. I loved that they cut to one of the polling stations. I was watching it at like 10:30 at night. Maybe it was even 11 or something, right? And they were racing. Two constituencies were racing to count the votes fastest, right? And they were doing like news coverage of it in the early hours, before the ridiculous Conservative losses were made apparent, and then that became the big news. But one of these people that were racing, one of these constituencies, they were further up north than me. It was still light out at like 11 o'clock or some shit. It was still light. It was so cool. I think that shit's cool. So anyway, really highlights the difference between summer and winter. All the Path of Fire story ascended trinkets get their own icons now. Yeah, I did notice that on one of my characters. I noticed, I think it might have been my Mesmar. I noticed that they actually had that going on. So let's have a look here. Let's log on. You're jealous. You love the winter, but we're getting ready for summer over here. You're Southern Hemisphere, I guess, right? Scroll down. Did you hear Revenant got a rework to Invocation with traits? Royal, you told me this really early. Someone else told me this really early, and I've mentioned twice that, yes, I did see it. Yeah, I have, and it's cool. Very interesting. I'll show people that as well. What do you think of ArenaNet's reply to the mount thing? I'm honestly one of the people who didn't have a strong opinion on this whole shindig, and in fact bought a few of the contracts because I liked all the skins. I'm disappointed in their response, not because I care that much about the topic. Let me, this is going to come up a ton today, and the stream is a stupid place to try and lay my thoughts down, because I say this now and tons of people tune in later. Nobody sees me saying this. But just to be clear, for everybody listening to me right now, that video, I think, has been significantly misinterpreted by a lot of people. A lot of people look at that, and it's lack of comprehension and... okay, I shouldn't be condescending to people. Basically, a lot of people are interpreting that video as me defending the gem store thing, and it's not that. I don't defend it. At its core, I dislike it just as much as everyone else. What that video actually is that video is an explanation as to why I am not emotional about it, or furious, or angry, or agreeing that a backlash of this scale will do anything. That's what the video is. Right? And in describing my lack of emotion, I present defenses to it. It doesn't mean that I fundamentally disagree with everyone who's upset. I do agree it sucks, and it's a shame, and it's RNG. But in my mind, it's just another thing on a pile, and it's actually quite arbitrary that this is the issue everybody's rallying around. I actually think it's just people being manipulated like little lemmings because of broader gaming media and stuff like that, right? I actually think that this specific thing, yes, it's bad. Is it actually a big slippery slope and worse than anything before? No. I actually think a huge amount, if you really look between the lines in the script of that video that I made, you'll see me sort of complaining about this. Why I don't care so much, why I'm not charged about this, right, is so much of this is stuff we talk. You guys have got no idea the length and scope and sincerity and quantity of Guild Wars 2 Guru threads that discuss the gem store and pay to win and cosmetic only and golds to gems and gems to gold and all of that stuff. Like, it's years and years and years old discussion to me. And it's stuff that I have been angry about and upset about and slowly been chipped away at over and over and over again. It's the basic of that video is, and as I said, I don't know whether I should be ashamed of this. That video is actually an explanation of how I became a boiled frog, right? That's what that video is. And it's an explanation as to why I'm not, you know, I'm not the champion of your cause anymore, right? And maybe I should be disappointed with that. But this kind of hyperbolic, extreme, oh, the world's falling in, people riling themselves up as internet communities can do. All of that, none of that I identify with. I identify with where it comes from, but I don't identify with the scope. That's what that video is. It is not me defending ArenaNet saying this is all okay because it's been happening for ages. It's an explanation for my own emotional state on the issue, right? It's basically, you know, and of what worth that is, probably not much, but at the end of the day, I'm a YouTuber that sits about doing vlog style stuff. That's a vlog style thing. It's an explanation of my emotion on it, and it's not that important in the grand scheme, but people kind of and to be honest, it's not a video I really even wanted to make on that. How useful is it me going out online saying that kind of stuff? I agree, it's not that useful. And in many respects, I kind of felt forced into making that video because I don't care about making a video like that because of my state on the topic, right? But where I am as far as YouTube is concerned, a mono gamer in that territory, it's kind of required of me to talk about it. It's a lose-lose situation because unless I lie to you all and I act like, oh, I'm only just suddenly realizing this is bad and I feign interest like you see a lot of people do. Unless I lie to you, if I want to be honest, it's a lose-lose situation for me because I don't do a video and that looks to me a lot more sell-out-y and manipulative and kind of bad, right? because people question, oh, well, he didn't speak up when this happened. I don't do a video and there's that, or I do a video and I make it readily apparent that I'm beyond the pale, and that I lose in that situation as well. So in the end, I had a lot of people accusing me, saying, you've got no balls, WP, you've got no balls, you're selling out to ArenaNet. I don't think people realize I'm far more scared of my audience than I am of ArenaNet. I can get by without ArenaNet. I can get by without ArenaNet support. I can get by without the partner program. I am nothing without the support of my audience. If anyone has me over a barrel, if anyone can actually manipulate me and change my opinions, and make me lie and make me sell out, it's placating the audience. It's you guys. It's the mob that I'm scared of. So if anything, and I'll, this is quite sucking myself off here. If anything takes balls, it's standing against the mob. It's not standing against the devs. I mean, really. And again, and all of that's arbitrary anyway, because yes, certain stuff has happened elsewhere in the community with other partners, and there's a lot more going on than people usually make out. But I personally have never felt, literally never gone on a video and like moderated myself because I'm scared of what a developer might think. Like, I'm really not. Sometimes, maybe after streams, sometimes I feel like I've been a bit unprofessional or whatever. But as far as videos are concerned, and any serious topic, never. They just don't do that. There's only been a couple of times where I've changed the content at all. Like, for example, when I wanted to do a Guild Wars 1 toolbox video, and it was pushing the boundaries of end user license agreements, and was it actually, a legal thing to do? So I double checked with the devs. They said, we'd rather you don't do it. Even then it was, we'd rather you not do it, and they don't force you. You can do what you like. And so I decided not to after I went to them. There's very, very rare that kind of thing ever happens. So, there's a lot of interesting things going on. And I'll say another thing. Again, I don't want this whole stream to be all about this. I'll say another thing. First, this probably is in the 7 years I've been doing YouTube and stuff, this probably is the worst backlash I've personally had against me. I think when I stood against the masses and the angry people with the pre-purchase controversy, various other times that I've done it, I've had people angry with me, and, like the no easy mode in raids and stuff. I've had people angry at me. I've had people unsub. Or more importantly, I've had people turn off their Patreons. I've had people shit talk me behind my back, or in threads where they don't think I'm looking and blah, blah, blah. I've had that before. This video is the worst I've ever had, that anger thrown at me. It is the worst comments I've had, the most aggressive, the most cruel, and like genuinely horrible things. This is the worst one. But so that's point number one. I attribute a lot of that, by the way, to outside gaming influence and brigading from outside the community, and people with absolutely no context and lower average age of viewers, and people participating in this discussion is definitely a thing. You should see the demographics are so much lower on all of this and where all that outrage comes from. But anyway, I don't want to go down that discussion of painting people with a brush. So that's the first thing to understand. So the other thing I do want to go on the record and say, just and there's no point me saying any of this on the stream, but is thank you to everyone who's been nice, right? There's that thing on the internet of, oh, one mean comment reads 100 times worse than a nice one, and it's true, right? It is true. The mean ones stick with you a lot more, and you got to be sound of fucking mind. You got to be steady-handed to deal with a lot of that shit. And you do tend to gloss over the nice comments more than the mean ones. But I will say, certain people have said some nice things, or people have signed up on Patreon, and people have done, those who have stepped out and said something nice and been appreciative and, given a little in the other direction, that has meant the world. Like, it really, really has. I've seen a lot of streamers and people go online and say, thank you for being nice to me. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm saying, thank you for being nice to me. And usually I kind of sneer at that and think, oh, you're just pandering to people. But it really has helped this week. People who have been like, yeah, good on you, WP, or whatever, like, you have helped me keep my sanity, sincerely, and it has not gone lost. Like, I've had some very nice comments. So yeah, it's probably been worse than ever before, but it's also been really nice as well in the same time. So I'll get by. It's fine. Small price to pay for such a cushy, nice thing to do for a living, I'd say. But yeah. So anyway, there you go. Some rambling about the mount thing. I know you all wanted it. And yeah, so I was originally asked ArenaNet's statement on this. I'm disappointed in that. I'm disappointed not because I mean, here's the thing. A huge thing I was talking about in the video is there any point ranting and raving? Can you actually enact change? Do you have any ammo? You're going to threaten to quit. You're going to signal boost this by bringing its attention to, you know, other areas of gaming to lambast the game. You're going to destroy its reputation. You're going to do this, and this. You're going to do whatever you can to try and be listened to. And you're going to rant and rave and be pissed off. And that's all well and good. But do you actually have any ammo? Can you actually change it? Is there any practical point to doing this? That was a question I asked in the video. Other people accuse me, by the way, of, oh, WP, you can't be on the fence. You shouldn't be on the fence. Yes, I can. I'm not online to give you easy answers to difficult questions. And now I didn't want to spend too much of that video and that script asking questions, because I know people are looking for answers and they want, you know, statements, not posits, right? I get that. And so I tried to lack it. But at the end of the day, I'm not ashamed of being on the fence. I don't know whether ranting and raving to force change via the devs is a smart thing to do, is a possible thing to do, is a healthy thing to do. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I don't know. And that's what I was trying to say in that video as well. I don't know. The fact I don't know, though, makes me less inclined to get onto the bandwagon. And so what do we see? Arena have their statement. And basically, you haven't changed anything. You've destroyed the game's reputation to an extent. And you could say that the devs, you know, brought it on themselves or whatever. That's a whole discussion you're welcome to have. But at the end of the day, what have you actually changed? ArenaNet have come back and they've said, don't worry about the mount adoption thing. We're not going to add more to this system. But they never confirmed that RNG is going away for good. They never reimbursed people. Which I think was a ridiculous thing to ask anyway. People, you know, you are an intelligent consumer. You spent money. You know what you're getting. I don't know why people would think that they should be reimbursed. Again, though, I'm a big believer in letting markets speak. And we don't have to go into all that and retread all of that ground. But yeah, what actually changed? Not much. So I'm disappointed from the perspective that ArenaNet got put into the limelight there. It's kind of like, you know, when like a tabloid newspaper slanders someone on their front page, destroys their reputation, and then, like, a few days later, realizes they were wrong and do a little apology on, like, page 3. I think there's a thing in the UK of, like, by law, they have to print it on the front page that they were wrong as well, right? Like, but it's this known thing where you can do a shit ton of damage and never take it back, right? ArenaNet could have had a chance to take it back here by, like, doing something really over the top. Basically, go really over the top, let the community take them over a barrel, and say, yeah, we're never going to do RNG, we're never going to do this, and this, and try to turn, like, the press around. They could have done that, and they didn't. But then there's more discussions in that as well. I wonder whether that's a good idea, because essentially what that says is what you signal to your community. If ArenaNet's statement had been, yeah, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to you, and we're going to give you everything. We're going to unlock all 30 mounts for everyone. Everyone gets all their gems back. This was horrible of us. I'm a terrible person. We're having 10 of our employees are being fired over this. You know, your wettest of dreams. You know, like whatever you can imagine would be recompense for the most angry man you could find on the internet about it. This person is placated. They go that far. Right, even if they do that, I wonder about stuff like that as well, because what that does is that signals long-term that communities should just kick up a big stink and they can force any kind of change. And I wonder whether that's right. I wonder whether, because what that does is that encourages more outrages in the future, which on the long term could do more damage to the product's reputation than is actually each individual outrage is worth. I think encouraging people to think it's okay to act a certain way, you've got to be very, very careful. So, how that signals us to act long-term is also a very dangerous, tricky thing. And that could be a reason why you see Mo is so, he does so little on this thing here, right? It's basically just a little, it's a distraction. It's a nothing statement almost to an extent. which will anger people here, but also make people less inclined to rage and riot in the future. And there's other stuff as well. Like, I think that a lot of people kind of believe that they've always got the high road, and just because you're a consumer, you always know what's best. I don't know whether gamers do always know what's best for the products that they play. I've openly said that many times. So when I come at it from that fundamental perspective of, I don't know if gamers always know what's best for them, and I really don't, as someone who has that belief, do I also think it's smart to signal to your community that they can always get it their way? They just have to threaten the game's reputation and blah, 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 and kick up a big enough stink. Is that an okay thing, especially when communities might be wrong about what is best? Again, we talked about this a while ago. You know, there's a reason that being a game designer is a job, right? And it's not just a random thing. You're not a game designer because you're a game player. There's actually a big difference, and not every consumer does always know best. Anyway, so those are sort of tangential discussions that are going on. But I think you got to think about that when you look at Mo's response here, right? So I'm disappointed from the perspective that this could have been an opportunity to really turn things around and undo a lot of this damage. But at the same time, I even question whether that would have been smart long term, because they would just have another riot on their hands 6 months later for another reason that may be more arbitrary, less arbitrary, I don't know. But the point is, you got to be careful. Like, I wonder about this thing. I'm not saying ArenaNet should be this and that the ship has sailed, but what do you guys think about this, right? Imagine that you're a new video game developer company, right? You got 30 people, you're making a product, you've got a really solid idea of what you want that product to be. And let's say you've got, for the sake of argument, you've got a hit on your hand. I actually legitimately wonder if you as devs could go online at the start of your company and basically just say, we will never listen to the community. Sorry, but we know what game we want to make. We are not looking for feedback. Just because you play our game, it doesn't mean we believe that you understand what's best for our game. We're going to make what we're passionate about. And sorry, we don't listen to your feedback, right? Now, you could think, oh my God, that's a terrible idea with potatoes. Why would they ever do that? And that would, that would make their customers feel dissatisfied to a certain degree. But I wonder, as long as they actually make a good game, I wonder if really long term, they'd actually have quite a settled community, because you wouldn't, and if they were very clear in their statement about why they're doing it, about how they don't want to toxify their official forums because people are only doing it to try and get devs' attention and make their arguments more hyperbolic and exaggerate issues because they're hoping to get attention, and they don't want to taint their Reddit, and they don't want to taint this and that. Imagine that, just straight up saying, yeah, we love that you play the game, but we don't care about your opinion on it. We're going to make what we make. Can you imagine that? I wonder what that game's community would end up like. It's a pretty interesting thought experiment to me. All right, I haven't scrolled for ages. So there you go, chat. That's all I've really got to say or want to say. I want to talk about other things. I will scroll through your comments very quickly here, though. I'm sorry if not everybody gets a response. Obviously, I've had tons that have come in and we're just running around LA. But people seem to enjoy streams where I just run around LA. So, hey, whatever. So someone asked me what happened to Matt. Matt, I still haven't watched his vlogs. I need to watch his VODs. Matt's around. You can go to his channel. I feel weird that I'm the only one who was completely fine. I mean, again, a lot of people sort of rallied to me saying, yeah, I'm fine with it too, WP. Again, I think that's a misunderstanding. Those people weren't angry with me, but you're misunderstanding me as well. I'm not actually fine with it, but I haven't been fine for a long time. And I think that you're being unduly manipulated if you believe that this is something like significant and different and new that's going on, and justifies the response I had. You're glad they stuck in some more side story things? Yeah, I'm interested in the content of the patch itself, which I want to get to soon. What thing I did with Boots? I discussed balance with Boots. Vancouver here. I wish we stayed on daylight saving time. I enjoyed watching the sunrise during your commute. Yeah, that can be dangerous though, look, right? Like very sharp light as people drive. Blinding them potentially if you're driving in the wrong direction. And road traffic accidents go up. You're bored of the topic? Everything that says needs to be said? Yeah, I agree. I was bored before I even made the video, to be honest. I felt like the video was you explaining the stuff that has happened and what it all means. Yeah, and that's also what it was. And I fall back on that at any time, right? If I don't know whether I have anything meaningful to say, just use the video as a platform to teach people about the events. And that's also what that video was, certainly, which contributed to its length. I think a lot of people see it as if you don't agree, then you're against them. Yeah, this is a mindset that I have heard examples of and learned a lot about, and how damaging it is. You know, there's that comment of a man is smart, people are idiots, right, or whatever. And that's kind of a big thing when you get mobs and mob justice, and when you get these kind of movements, if you will, especially when people are convinced they're in the right and they have righteous causes and blah, blah, blah. Whether that's because of the way video gaming is going with microtransactions, or your god is better than someone else's god, or whatever. Just us as humans, as societies, right? That basically, once that starts to infest people, you cannot be reasonable about this. You cannot take the center on this. When people start saying that, when you're either with us or you're against us becomes a thing, that's when once you get a mob that believes that, kind of all rationality goes out the window, and it's actually extremely dangerous. And you see that basically that once people are in that position, the worst kind of things start spiraling out. And I've never seen as much this until this week, that kind of idea of people blatantly saying, yeah, you're either with us or you're against us, WP. Like, it's actually gross. But I think that I think it's very young people, or people who aren't educated about certain things. I don't know. See, I'm scared now. I've just said that out loud, and I think people are gonna be like, oh, WP says everyone who disagrees with him is uneducated and is young and is blah blah blah. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's a dangerous way to think and feel, in principle. All right, scrolling. How many skins did I end up getting? I have none, but I've got a mail to show you all very soon. I really liked your video because you did touch on all the aspects, both sides of the argument, very unbiased and real. Props to you for that. Thank you very much, Turtle Emoji. Sometimes I wonder if you care too much about Reddit's reaction. In my opinion, the whole sub is totally nuts. Yeah, but no, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. I think Reddit can be very reasonable. I think even on this topic, there's a lot of incredibly reasonable people. There's a lot of very smart comments out there. People brought things to my attention after that video that I hadn't thought of, and were perfectly valid things to talk about. And Reddit wasn't purely against me or anything like that. I think that generalizing in any form is silly. I would agree that and this has got nothing to do with the mount adoption thing. I would agree that Reddit in general has trended downwards as a place for informed, intelligent, reasoned discussion. I would say that. But I would have said that before this week. I would have said that basically the big turning point for me with Guild Wars 2, as I see it as a community, was the Guild Mag Super Adventure Box controversy in summer of 2014, I think it was, 2 years after launch. After that was a big changing point for Reddit. Not just that people became negative suddenly, but the quality of discussion you saw took a massive and very sudden shift at that point. I don't think it's ever really recovered much from that point. But, you know, there's good days, there's bad days. And it's certainly not a bad day just because people disagree with you. It's the way people conduct themselves. I think a lot of the anger board... Another thing, by the way, about that video, if I had put tons of time into it, one thing I kind of wanted to do was do quotes and actually show you comments of the kind of things I'm talking about when I say that the backlash is out of hand. But A, it would have been a ton of effort that I didn't want to put in, blatantly admitting to laziness there. But two, well, not laziness, just actually learning how to use my time properly. But two, also, I didn't want to go down the whole rabbit hole of, oh, you're cherry picking people, and so on. Scrolling. Oh god, you guys are talking about me being scared of the audience. No, it's true though. Any YouTuber is... It's very rare that I think that you'll find someone selling out, if you will, or trading their integrity in the name of a developer rather than the community, because the developer doesn't give a shit. If I didn't have an audience, you think I'd be in the partner program? You think any of that would be going on? No. You know, I'm beholden to you before anyone else. Except myself. That's it. And that's not just true for me, by the way. It's true for everyone. Was I expecting the backlash? Absolutely I was. Yeah, obviously. People don't like... Nobody wants to listen for an hour. Well, some people do. And those are the people who have my respect. That's why I made the hour-long video. Scrolling down. Sorry if... Again, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm having to get past so many lovely walls of text here. Full disclosure, I have all the mounts. The fit... that everyone has, everyone is displeased, yet it's random. At least with mounts, you know at a minimum what you're getting. My only question is, will you finally change your Guardians fashion wars or no? Maybe. I took great pleasure making a video talking about visual bloat and stuff, running around on a hideous looking character. Did you end up getting any skins? Someone asked me again. No, I don't have any. Oh god, Yuendel, it's just you spamming it. I didn't get any. You've heard that already. Scrolling. You think the community did damage to Heart of Thorns, then threw the fit about hero points after its release? Yeah, I mean, lots of little things have done it. I mean, there's a whole side to it as well, is do you blame the devs or the community? As with most things in life, I actually think it's both. I think that there's varying degrees. And people take black and white stances. They say, oh no, it's always the community's fault, or no, it's always the devs' fault. That's not true. I think it's a mix, right? I think that the devs can provoke the community into doing things that is too extreme for what it is. You know, here's another thing as well that I cut out of that video, because I felt totally out of my depth on it. But another thing that and also it would have bloated the runtime even further. But there's a question of, is Guild Wars 2 a valuable battleground for Guild Wars, for video gaming, right? In terms of microtransaction, right? It's a hot topic in just general gaming right now, and the industry in general. Is a victory in the world of Guild Wars 2 going to affect the industry as a whole? Is it worth bringing your brigade to this? Is it worth... you know, there's lots of people saying it's absolutely justified. The backlash is not strong enough. It should have been way heavier. Guild Wars 2 needs to fall on its sword. Guild Wars 2 can die for all I care. This needs to stop in video gaming. And, you know, people will really go that far and genuinely believe that. And, you know, you can agree or disagree with that if you like. My question with that is, and I think it is a genuine question. All right, let's say you have a victory in Guild Wars 2. Let's say you destroy Guild Wars 2's reputation and Path of Fire is shit forevermore. And people 5 years from now will still say, oh, that's that game with the horrible microtransactions. I'm not picking it up. Let's say that all happens, but the microtransactions are fixed or whatever. Is a victory in Guild Wars 2 worth that much? Is this the first domino that then knocks over a ton more, eventually leading down to the fall of EA and Activision? Really? Really? This is your battleground? Do you think that this actually... What gaming has to gain versus what Guild Wars has to lose is something to be considered. It's not going to be considered by people that don't care much about Guild Wars 2, obviously, and that's why you see a lot of this, like, turbulence, because they don't care that much about Guild Wars 2. It's just an MMO, right? It's just another little thing for the, you know, to be... It's a bottle on the wall to be shot and shattered. And they don't care, but... So that's another discussion. And one I don't know whether I'm qualified to talk about, but I'll raise it here briefly, because it's a stream, and it's very transient in its nature. You're basically speaking about Nintendo there? To an extent, yeah. Yeah. Is there a reason why you stream in lower quality than before? I'm not streaming lower quality than before. It should still be a 900p 60 stream. And by the way, I blame the devs for a lot of things. I actually think most of the issues with Guild Wars 2, the community hasn't identified or ever ranted or raving about at all, which is why I like sort of do it alone when I wank off about Corteria all the time. People aren't on my side with that, but I actually think that those are the more dangerous things, and that's not the community that's got anything to do with that. It's Guild Wars, it's ArenaNet's own fault for various lacks of success. My only fear is that instead of random mounts for 400, we get static mounts for 2k. Yeah, here's something I was wrong about as well. When I made that video, I thought the bigger issue was the RNG. But since, I think I've actually seen a lot more people hate the 2k mount. I must admit, for me, I'm much more pissed off about the RNG, if I'm pissed off at all. That's not the right term to describe my own feelings on it. But if anything, I think that, you know, if they release a 2000... It's kind of like... Do you remember when Star Citizen, while it was in alpha, released like a, what was it, like a $200 spaceship or something? I actually think shit like that's fine. That doesn't offend me at all. If people want to spend it, it's their money. That's what free markets do. And if the devs earn a profit on it, then you can call it manipulative and greedy and whatever, but someone spent it, and that was their freedom. That was their choice to do it, and they were happy buying it. So, you know, to an extent, I personally, as a person, the way I view markets and so on, I think that that's actually okay, the 2k man. How to be young, disagree with WP, 100% works. Yeah, I know, it's really, really sneery and patronizing and disgusting, and I shouldn't, you know, believe that. And that's why I'm scared of this stream to an extent and this discussion too much. Have I read Mo's response? Yes. Scrolling. I don't understand the rage. Why is everybody raging about the RNG? The dye packages are RNG. Well, yeah, that's my point as well. This isn't new. People are raging because they've kind of... They're raging because it's a big topic in gaming right now. And Guild Wars 2 did this in that climate. And that's why that's happened. Doesn't matter the practices of other games that are far worse. It doesn't matter practices that have existed in Guild Wars 2 for years already and are far worse. It's just a fun little thing to be pointed at and cash in on. That's what it is. Hi, just got in. Are we talking about the mount skins? Yes. A Star Wars quote that I think is totally inappropriate. I never played Guild Wars 1. Don't worry, if someone from outside shits on the game, we will be sure to dislike him. Microtransactions are creeping into single-player games. Taking Guild Wars 2 down with that will have no effect. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the bigger thing, right? It's the single-player games. Anyway. Is it check your mails time? It will be in just a second. Scrolling. Everyone was sucking ArenaNet's balls for mounts. Someone's got an eye for fine potatoes. Thanks very much, Hans Wormat. Everyone was sucking ArenaNet's balls for mount skins when Path of Fire came out. Now they got what they wanted. Their raging. Well, here's another thing. I mean, it's an obvious thing, and we say it a million times a year. The people complaining now are not necessarily the same people who are joking about the mount skins. I think actually there is some overlap, and a lot of people just weren't prepared to face the reality. You know, when I joked about, oh, they're going to fleece us. You remember at Halloween, right? When I said, oh, this wasn't even as bad as I thought. They could have done a lot worse. This was actually a lot more reasonable. Do you remember I said that about the mount package? A lot of people turned to me and said, oh, WP, I can't believe you'd say that. They're really expensive. But, you know, I said that because I have been 100,000% in the mindset that they will push hard on mount skins. And you know, you will be spending a lot on mount skins. That it's a cash cow. You know, they're not all just jokes. When I talked about that before Path of Fire, I remember when the leaks were going on and people realized mounts. I remember the earliest discussions about them, the official announcements with Path of Fire. We talked about this, and we said the community will be milked, and an arena that's going to earn a lot of money, and maybe that's going to be something that will get them, you know, trending up with the Path of Fire. You know, this is not news. It's not news. And so when the Halloween thing came in and I said, wow, they could have fleeced us a lot harder, I was expecting them to. I was deadly serious about that. Deadly serious. It's not that I want them to. It's just, Christ. Catch the fuck up. It's a lot like when dungeon rewards were removed with Heart of Thorns, and all of a sudden there was a backlash about it. Oh, how dare they move away from dungeons. Bitch, they moved away from dungeons 3 years ago. And this is why I'm condescending, because it's like, or why I can be condescending, and why I have to be very careful about being condescending, because I can't help see stuff like that and be like, well, you're clearly not following the game at all, right? You're clearly not clued in at all of what's going on. You know, these discussions about them moving away from dungeons, unmeaningful discussions, they've already happened. You're not adding anything. Everything's been said. And then it just becomes a question of, well, can we kick up a big enough stink to change something, right? Oh, Gem Store's been terrible for ages, fine, WP, but we're going to kick up a stink and we're going to change something. Okay, fine. So can you change something? Is that good for communities? Is that a good thing for ArenaNet to signal that you can accomplish? Do we end up with a Pyrrhic victory? Do you get this, but unfortunately you've damaged your reputation too much? Those are discussions to have. That's what I did in the video. It's not me saying, oh, it's okay, because it's been there for a long time. Saying this is not as simple as, yeah, let's just rage and everything will be okay. I'm sorry, that's not how the world works. Or that's the reason why, you know, 200, 300 years ago, you just have some guy tell you to throw a spear in your hand and go fucking stab someone with it. That'll solve all the problems. Scrolling. Why am I still talking about this? WP, I also think is the first time it's about something people really care about. They don't care as much about dies as they do about mounts. Yeah, that's definitely Tinder. Definitely. I think there's a lot going on. I don't think it's just the adoptions, right? I think it's actually there's several things that coalesce to bring it about. Where do I go to see all this backlash? I heard from a friend that there was a dust up after mounts, but I don't visit. You could go to the subreddit, there's a really good thread where there's still a lot of turbulence to do with Mo's non-response at the moment. You could look at that. I would say you could go to my YouTube. Here's a funny thing, right? Now I curate my YouTube comments very carefully. Anyone who just blatantly insulted me over this just got insta-blocked. By the way, if you've been blocked on YouTube now, it's because you insulted me, and it's not that I can't take it. I read your insult. I understand that you're not the kind of person that I care about making videos for. Bye-bye, right? So I've curated my comments quite carefully. I've left pro stuff in there. I've left anti stuff in there. I've left anything reasonable or wall of texty in there. But there's hundreds of comments about it. An actual pretty good discussion. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that's a fucking good YouTube comment section right there. Like, genuinely really good. There's not anything meaningless or vitriolic or, you know, terrible in there. So it's pretty good. But yeah, Reddit's a good place to go. So loot boxes that can give you an edge in games is bad, but skins that don't affect much of anything is bad. It's not as simple as that, Mayo. And again, I don't want to go on and on and on, so I'm going to skip your comment. IMO, the RNG system had a big backlash because it gives a very bad customer experience. You were more likely to pay for something you never wanted. Definitely, but that's also not a new situation to be in. What makes you choose Guild Wars 2 over other MMOs such as Black Desert? Well, I did try Black Desert, and a lot philosophically about Black Desert I really like. But I also found it too clunky and jaggy, and there's a lot of convenience and things in Guild Wars 2 and polish in Guild Wars 2 that Black Desert was a million miles away. Black Desert struck me as a game with some really good core gameplay and ideas, but with a lot of shit. It was actually surprising to me that as many people played BDO as they do, because you put up with a lot of terrible shit to enjoy BDO. But yeah, it was alright. We did a stream on it as well. I played a flute and got loads of rats to follow me to some water. I have a base game for a long time, but I've never played Heart of Thorns or new DLC. Is it worth getting into? I think so, yeah. I don't understand what Mo could have said to please those people. Well, yeah, I said it earlier. He could have announced that several people had been fired. He could have announced that all the things would be free. He could have promised no RNG would ever be in the gem store. He could have announced that 75% price had been cut from gem store. Now, even in that world, right, this, you know, which is ridiculous, right? But even in that world, I do still think you would have seen people saying too little too late, because too little too late is an excellent argument you can slap into anything to justify your continued anger. But so we would have seen too little too late, but generally speaking, I think it would have hit a large enough share there that the other thing though, if they're too generous on the response, it also kind of signals that they could afford to be that generous. You know, one thing I suggested in my video is, you know, maybe the reason we're seeing these terrible, you know, these really, really, you know, aggressive things in the gem store is that they kind of have to if they want to see Guild Wars 2 be their main moneymaker for, you know, the next decade or whatever. Maybe that's how they feel. You know, that's one of the discussions I had, one of the arguments I put forward. If they then just said, oh yeah, we're reducing the price of everything by 75%, blah, 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 that would totally be like an admission that it was all just extra money that was lining their pockets, right, guys? It was all just lining the investors' pockets, and they're just greedy. The funny thing, that's another interesting thing. I see so many people talking about greed. It's developer greed, is it? It's Mo's greed, is it? So what, the ArenaNet devs are all, they live in mansions and they're greedy because they're getting their next Ferrari. Or is it NCSoft and their executives? No, it's the shareholders, right? It's the shareholders' greed. Like, who are you angry at? Wait, who's greedy here? This is a natural mechanic of the way publicly traded companies in the Western capitalist world work. This is the world you're living in. They will seek to earn profits. It's not evil. It's a company. And that's why I said, you know, vote with your wallet, but specifically encourage other people to vote with their wallets, because you can much easier convince someone to stop going to the shop than you can convince a shop to stop selling to people who are buying. Do you get what I mean? Like there are two ways you can tackle it. And for what it's worth, I've also been attacked, perhaps fairly, for encouraging people to be angry with one another and encouraging people to attack. Obviously, I would never say ostracize one another. I never meant to tell people to attack your friends and to shout at your friends. If your assumption is the only way to change someone's mind is by attacking them, I think that actually says a lot more about you than me and my statement in that video. Obviously, that's not what I'm suggesting, but I'm saying reason, debate, and discussion and explanation for why these practices are unhealthy for your game / the industry as a whole. That is better directed at your peers and at the customers than it is directed at the companies. Right? Like, if you're going to be, if you're trying to make a difference, if you're gonna have to be angry or whatever, there are two places you can throw that, or you can try to enact change. And I actually think that the way you don't attack the shop for selling. Someone had a very interesting analogy as well. The idea of throwing buckets of blood over people wearing fur coats. It's kind of like an equivalent thing. And this was, you know, suggesting I'm a bad person for telling people to go after the customers. I say go after. You guys get what I mean. Obviously, civil debate, intelligent, reasoned, impassioned talking, right? Not aggressing, not throwing buckets of blood. But that's it. You know, these are not new topics, right? God, stop making me rant about this. This stream is not supposed to be about this. I think the regorged mount skins also dies. It's most likely just a bad time for ArenaNet to do a loot box system. Definitely. But again, they've been loot boxing the whole time anyway. Here's another big question I wonder. That looks so cool floating in. Here's another thing I wonder, right? And this is a question. It's not, you know, I'm not declaring anything. I'm not suggesting that one thing's better than the other. But what do you guys think? If the devs had gone the Hydra staff route, what would have happened? Do you think this would have blown up? Now, a lot of you guys will be saying, yeah, it will, because this is reprehensible in all forms. But the truth is that there's been reprehensible stuff going on without a backlash. It's just, you know, how slowly do they boil the frog, right? So would they have had a backlash if they had just done like how the Hydra stuff was done, or some glider skins were done, where it's an exclusive rare thing out of a black line chest? Because that's a format that already had precedent in the game, right? By the way, Infinite Horizons became a thing, and it was really fun, and raiding this week on a Mirage was really fun. Just thought I'd say. So I enjoyed myself with that. You get these cool dodges. What do you guys think if they'd done that? Do you think the backlash would have landed? There would have been grumpy people and grumbles, as we've seen with many of these other things, but it wouldn't have hit this scale. And I think it wouldn't have, because I think that the grumbling people would have immediately been dismissed because it's happened before. You want BDO's missions? Yeah, there's a lot that I love about BDO. BDO is fundamentally a different game catering to a different mindset, though. So I don't know whether you can actually adopt a lot of those systems and put them into Guild Wars 2. Scrolling. Let's talk about Guild Wars 3. Scrolling. So yeah, another big discussion as well. People have said, WP, you say vote with your wallet, and it sounds nice, but it doesn't actually work because it's all about the whales. I actually don't know whether and there's a lot of that. People just say whales. That's their counter to that argument. Vote with your wallet? No, but whales. So you have to go after the shop because the whales are, you know, will always, you can't. And I don't know whether that's true because the number of people I see with the mount skins and any other big Black Lion update is huge. And again, please, I'm so scared of so many topics on this. I'm so scared. Listen, this is not a judgment of any YouTuber that does this, all right? But look at how successful and easily successful YouTube videos are, where all the content creator does is show off the new set of Black Lion weapons or whatever. Look at that. There's a lot of it, and not just you. And again, I'm not going to go into any specifics or anything, right? But that success, and this isn't a criticism of anyone that does that or rakes in easy views or just essentially rehosts information on their own websites and so on. This is not anything to do with that. The point is people watch it. People aren't watching that because there's 5 whales in 1,000 that fund everything in ArenaNet. They watch it because there's a lot of people who spend money on the gem store. There's a lot of people who buy those mount skins. You see it everywhere in Lion's Arch. Not because they're all whales, but there is as far as I can see, all we have are anecdotes on this, right? There are no stats, obviously. That's why I find the gambling argument tacky as well, because Yeah, oh, someone, but WP, someone went on the forums and said that they were a gambler. All right, first, it's unverified. Second, even if you have an anecdote like that, even if someone does go on the forums, it doesn't, it's not a stat. We don't know if there's a statistically important number of people who have gambling issues in Guild Wars 2. You don't know that, and neither do I. The fact we don't know that means you need to be cautious of that argument and that line of reasoning. That's why I find it tacky. And no, it doesn't matter how many people know a you know, I might have serious gambling issues in my own life. I might know people with serious gambling issues in my own life, but I wouldn't talk about first to preserve their own. You know, I'm not going to throw family or friends under the bus that suffer with gambling just to make a point or something. I wouldn't do that. But, you know, it doesn't mean anything because they're anecdotes. We don't have any statistical analysis or research that's ever been done into the number of people with serious gambling issues and how often Guild Wars 2 and its way of doing things has preyed on that. Now, we can say conceptually that that's been a thing, and you can agree that that's a possibility, but it doesn't go much further than that. It's not actually a very strong argument. And again, I use the word tacky because I also think it's quite an emotionally manipulative argument too. It's one of those things that you do to just rile people up because it makes things look more serious, even if it might not be statistically significant. Anyway, the other thing I was talking about was voting with our wallet and the whales. There's a lot of people out there that spend in the gem store. There's a lot of them out there. And we only have anecdotes. We don't know what proportion is coming from whales. We know generally across the industry that can be a thing. But we also don't know how that trend has changed over the years, and how that trend changes specifically with Guild Wars 2, and how many people do. Like I pointed out, when Path of Fire came out, they did an update to the gem store. Do you remember? Every time they give you something free on the gem store, and they only do it at specific times, if they ever give you something free on the gem store, what they're doing, guys, is they're saying to the average person, hey, look at this user interface, click these buttons, get free thing, and understand and acclimate your average random normal person to the gem store. They're doing that because it gets people one step closer to buying and using it, right? Those tactics only work because they hit people on a mass level, right? That's why, and by the way, the 9,600 mount package, I mentioned this in the script as well. It's also very important to point out. The reason that they might be doing stuff like that, and again, this is not an excuse, but it's an explanation for why these things exist, is because if you can get someone, if I happily spend 9,600 gems this month, in a couple of months from now, I might spend, you know, 3,500 gems and rationalize that it's not even that much because in my past I remember having spent more, right? So you acclimate people to spending more and more and more, and that's why you see these kinds of things happening as well. And again, that's not a for or against argument. That's just explaining how this system probably ended up the way it is. It's more of just a side note. But anyway, to the whale thing, we only have anecdotes. Anecdotally, I would say a fuck ton of people run these mount skins. And a lot of people buy them. A lot of people buy outfits. A lot of people buy black line chests. A lot of people watch videos about those that offer nothing more than just showing off skins and so on. It is a big market. And so when I tell you to vote with your wallet, and importantly, also talk to other consumers about voting with their wallet, instead of just complaining, actually do something. When I tell you to do that, you can't just turn around and say, but whales. It's not enough. It's not enough. Not anywhere near enough. So that's another kind of big side to the discussion that never made it into the video. Scrolling. WP, talk about balance, talk about Reaper. Dude, I saw that World vs. World montage of people bombing one another on Power Reapers. That was pretty exciting. Scrolling. Let's change the subject. If Season 4 doesn't add a new mount, what mastery line do you think they might add? It's a great question. I think it will add a new mount, though. I'd love them to add 2, because I want some traditional masteries in there as well. But I loved a dev quote recently where they said that masteries are hard to do. Did my donation go through? I didn't pay attention. I'm sorry, Ewendell. Yes, 11 minutes ago. I'll throw you another 5 if you end up getting a skin with this one. I'm not going to be buying a skin. Again, I'm not that interested in it anyway. I am a customer on the gem store, and I do use it, and I'm not going to hide away from that. On this specific one, though, I don't care enough about the skins to justify the comments that I would... There'd be a lot of ad hominem and a lot of, hey, you're a hypocrite, blah, 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 if I ever buy one of those things. So, unfortunately, I have to resort to... For people to actually listen to my opinion, and for me to not look like a dirty, horrible human being, unfortunately, I have to... I probably shouldn't ever buy one of them. because it looks like my arguments hold no water if I do. So I haven't bought one, and I might have got one or two if I wasn't, you know, basically forced to publicly speak in this arena. But now that I have, I think I'd like, can you imagine if on the video I had said, oh yeah, I bought loads of them, I don't know, I bought loads of them, but here's why it's not bad, or something like that. People would have just, you know, it would have been a lot worse for me. People would have not listened even further. I don't want to give people that ammo. I want them to sincerely listen to the substance of my conversation rather than the specifics of whatever I'm doing personally. So I won't give them that outlet. I'm not offended WP called my channel out. Yeah, so Inks is in chat. He does gemstore things. That's just a point that that there's an audience. That's all I was trying to say. And, you know, I could never be too judgy about other people doing lazy content. Guild Wars is not a scene where it's easy to make any content at all. And quite often with all of my formats, you ask Boots, all my formats, I've always got on my mind, how can I implement this easily? How can I make this not too much work? How can I, you know, keep it as simple as possible? That's very prominent in my mind all the time. So, you know, I would be scared to get on a high horse about the difficulty of the other content people make. At the end of the day, we're all trying to scratch it out. It's not a big scene. And that's what makes me sad. It's not a big scene. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm a tiny little ant in the horizon of general gaming. I genuinely caught myself, when I was looking at some of the really nasty things that I've had said to me this week, I genuinely caught myself thinking, I do not get paid enough. I do not get enough satisfaction from this job for this. Like, Christ, I can imagine if I was like some forerunner, like some forward thinker for the industry as a whole, or I had some prominent position, or it actually mattered. It doesn't. It's Guild Wars, and it's me. Anyway. And then I laughed because I don't get paid enough for this shit. It's kind of a cliche, funny thing to say. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Scrolling down. Tried to say ArenaNet should remove RNG boxes from the store because of gambling addiction. Is like people saying people are arachnophobic, so ArenaNet should remove spiders from the game. I think there is a slight difference. I've always appreciated your ability to develop intelligent conversation with Twitch chat when so many other channels resort to low-effort memeing. What is it that differentiates a channel like yours from some of these other channels? I think I look at chat a lot. I openly dislike cappers and all that kind of, you know, I don't know. I get people are having fun, and I don't go too out of my way to stop it, but I don't know. Plus, I don't know. I'm probably a bit up myself, and I encourage people to think a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know whether these are the kind of streams I like. Honestly, I would rather just be an entertainer. I'd rather be like one of these guys that just goes online and makes you laugh and doesn't think about things and doesn't try to be intelligent about things and doesn't pretend to be an intellectual when they're certainly not. You know, I'd rather just dick about, right? Like, and you get a lot of views doing that as well. I'm sure you get a lot of peace of mind doing that. It's a lot of stress you invite on yourself trying to be like a prominent, what's the word? I can't think of a word that's not absolutely disgustingly arrogant. WP, it's so interesting to me that I agree with you on roughly 95% of the opinions of the game itself, while I agree with you only on about 10% of what you say about general business stuff and social behavior. That's really interesting, dude. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Have you heard about the lady in red? I have. Past 15 minutes have been filled with me being confused as to why you were comparing things to the country of Wales. No, like people who spend loads. But you are a potato. I'm sad they removed the Equilibrium trait for Rev. Not saying that the new trait is not good, but Equilibrium was such a fun mechanic to play with. I play even less attention to my energy now. That's interesting because I felt it was, yes, a fun mechanic, but not strong enough to justify me playing into. I know that there have been rotations that have looked at that in the past, and maybe even right up until the point where it's nerfed. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not that good at Rev. But I like what they replaced it with at the same time. What's the mail thing? We'll look at that in a second. Ton of cappers. Everyone wants to play and enjoy the game, but spend the smallest amount of money possible. Imagine living life that way, going to McDonald's and going to argue their prices are down or get them to change their menu because of your dislikes about it. Hashtag support the game and move on. Build a Bob. I can tell you, I would be very scared to stand in that camp. There's nothing better than a well-placed capper. I wouldn't watch you anymore if you were that way. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, if you think like very like top level about if I were choosing a career for myself, right? Like, it's pretty obvious which one doesn't make you go grey and all your hair fall out too quickly. I am on fire today. I consider you a Guild Wars 2 pundit. I haven't heard about that. Tell me about the lady in red. Okay, I've caught up. Hi, guys. Let's put some desktop audio on as well. There you go. The conversation has run dry. Let me go default device there. No, you still can't hear. What if I put you out of that? Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, guys. There you go. You can hear the game now, right? Sorry that you haven't been able to hear it the entire time. There you go. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm caught up. Cool, cool, cool. Right. So, males. You think we're done with the mount thing? We're not quite. I've just had a couple of new ones. To join the guild. Call me Dumat. Well, welcome to the guilds. Dumat. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so. First, let me grab these. Now. First, Stella von Houten. A name many of you guys should be familiar with. Sent me some messages on Discord. Pretty hype, pretty exciting thing right here. Future Spud event donation. So this is not like a stream giveaway or anything, but this is for people in the Spud Club. The Hey WP, as I wrote to you via PM on Discord, I would like to provide the Bolt Precursor Zap as a reward for future Spud events. Please accept this small. I love people who give insane donations and then say small. Please accept this donation as thanks for the work you do and as a thanks to all the Spud members who make this guild so great. Thank you so much. So there you go, guys. Thanks so much to Stella. That is fucking awesome. I hope you guys are all really hyped. Good job to the Spud people who have made it a warm, fun, nice community with lots of chat and events and things going on. It's a community that you get more out the more you put in, definitely. And you guys have done enough to inspire one of the members to do this. So this will go into the guild coffers, and the Games Masters and I will meet up at some point and figure out a way to give this away. This is not the only pre we've had recently. We also had a pre for the pistol, Chaos Gun. So this is incredibly exciting. Thank you so much. That is Zap. This is a particularly weird thing for me to accept because Zap is one of the... It's the first precursor I ever got after like 9,000 hours. Wait, what was it? 7,000 hours in the game? I can't remember. What is my age? Am I over 10k yet? Oh, I am. I'm on 11k. Oh, God. I'm on 11k. Anyway, so there you go. Zap. Thank you so much. That is wonderful. And we'll take that. So that's one. Now, Christ almighty. Okay, 37 minutes ago on this stream, in the middle of this, someone has sent us this, a mount adoption license. I have nothing against this system, and I hope you get something good. I know you're not fine with it, so you can take this purely as a donation rather than anything else. Thanks for staying true to yourself and how you feel, from Yggdrasil. I hadn't read this until right this second. Yggdrasil, wow, thank you so much. I've maybe had like 4 gem store like gifts, direct gifts like that, lifetime ever streaming and stuff. So the fact I've got 2 here, yes, 2 because this is the second, that's insane. So wow, thank you, Yggdrasil. You know, and let me just be entirely clear for everyone watching. If I could click return for sender and give you your gems back right now, I would. I don't take personal donations. I never have. So that would be reason number 1. But reason number 2, I really do feel like accepting this kind of will give people ammo to discredit me without actually involving themselves in a proper discussion, which I think is a shame. Oh, it's easy for WP to turn it away when his fans just give him the mounts, is basically what I now suffer from by accepting this. But I can't say no to it. I mean, I suppose I could take it and delete it. But I feel like the damage that would do personally to you for this donation would be to literally just see me burn 400 gems of yours away. I think that would be really unfortunate. So there you go. We will do it. And amazingly, we're going to have a funny, weird thing now where everybody's like, oh, I'm so excited about the RNG. Which is also a fun thing to look at. Because RNG is exciting. And Twitch chat will prove that to you anytime some, you know, like a big reason I actually think, well, not a big reason, one of the more subtle reasons you may have noticed loot boxes become more prolific is actually when it comes to advertising through streamers and content creators and stuff. This is actually, gambling is content for a lot of those people, and people like watching people gamble. They like it. They like watching ecto gamblers. They like watching live gambles. They like that stuff. And so, like, when you see, like, especially, like, when I view this through the lens of Blizzard games, and particularly Hearthstone, you know, those are big things. And I think that actually, it's got a part to play. And we'll do our little contribution right here. And so, before the stream, I had this from 3 hours ago. Hey, WP, since you did a whole video on Mount Gate, I figured you should try out the mount system yourself. This isn't the same as you buying a mount adoption for yourself, I know, but that's fine. Plus, I love your videos. I want to give something to you. Let me know how this turns out via message or on one of your videos. So I will point out... What's the timestamp at the moment, guys? I don't know. I don't even know who gave this to me. So how can I point that out to them? Who gave me this? They didn't tag their name. You like the mount licenses. The trick is to be happy with whatever you get. Man, I don't know who gave this to me, so I'm so sorry, but I'm incredibly... To both of you, I'm sorry that now 2 people have done it, and so you feel like you get half of the kudos. But thank you very much. I will check these out, and chat is going to piss themselves. So here we go, guys. I guess we'll gamble on some mount skins. You ready to watch me discredit myself entirely? Here we go. Probably an arena net dev kappa. There you go. That's a funny kappa right there. Alright, so here we go. Oh, what? They've got a whole UI on this. What is that? Look, they've even got a sound effect. I didn't know that any of this was even a thing. Hold on. Look at that. Look, they really went all out. I'm telling you guys, what was going on behind closed door on this is this was infrastructure they were hoping to use for, like, the entirety of the Path of Fire days. This was going to be, like, this is Black Lion Chess 2.0, if you will. And from that perspective, you might consider it a slippery slope down the gem store and not just business as usual. Wow. Yeah, I haven't even seen the UI. No, I didn't even know that this was a thing. It's got sound effects and everything. So I can preview, and they've got a preview thing here as well. Is this just the same as the hero panel? So I have seen these because I clicked through for the sake of the video. And I actually think... So if people actually want to know what one I like the most, I think this guy does look cool. I'm like one of these stupid 90 kids that's like, put fire on it is cool. And I like the very dark blacks on it. I also, funnily enough, really like this. Even though I think it's a bit of a meme. The fiery guy looks cool. That reminds me of Azuric for some reason. I don't know why. He's also cool. I like his head. I do think that some of them look a bit poop. I don't really know what I'm looking at that's even different on this. Honestly, I don't. There's some spots. Maybe. I have a feeling this guy would look good when flying, but I don't know. So anyway, here we go. Let's adopt a mount. Yeah, the spike tail looks good as well. Okay, so we got a skimmer, the spined longtail. So I think this is basically one of the more basic ones. Let's try and figure out how it looks different to our regular ones. Let's see. Some people thought I got really lucky there. Did I? All right, let's see. So, spined longtail. So how is that different to regular? Is it? It is just a pattern change, right? Or is it that? Oh no! So the tail, he's been working on his quads basically. Look at those thighs. I think he's been working out a bit. And then if we look at his tail, that's old. Is this tail longer maybe? Yeah, so maybe. Alright, well, so we'll do that. I will show default dies as well. So, the default die setup... I guess the difference is it's got more die channels as well, right? So, I'll rep that, and then I'll go dies... Mount dies. Yeah, so I get 3 channels now. So, I could go, like... Gold. And then... Permafrost. And then... I actually really like that. That reminds me of a Janundu color scheme. Alright, so there you go. So that's the spined longtail. And he looks pretty cool, I guess. Thank you very much to the mount adoption person for that. And then we'll try the other one. Yeah, it looks like a hornet. It does, doesn't it? Do you know what this actually reminds me a bit of? Roller beetle racing? Doing the skins on the roller beetle racing? Alright, so here we go. Ink said, bye now. If you guys enjoy what you see, buy now. Only 400 gems. All right, here we go. So 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wait. 3, 2, 1, go. So we get the banded mystic. So he's got kind of a pink sort of tint over the top of him. This looks just like the regular sand jackal, except there's like 2 shades on the sand there. So there you go. By the way, guys, they might not have wasted money. When you break it down to a single mount, a single ticket, 400 gems isn't that bad on gold. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I know everyone has different values, and that's not a discussion to really have. But 400 gems via gold. They could have easily done that. It wasn't necessarily, you know, they didn't necessarily spend their credit cards on that. So then we got the jackal. And I'll tell you what as well, I will rep these in my videos. I don't know how, you know, I'm not promising to use the mounts in the gameplay that much. But whenever I use them, I'll keep it on these skins. I won't use the Halloween ones. I'll keep it on these. I don't know, because it's character bound, so I'd have to go through like all 15 characters on the account. So I'm sorry if they don't even appear in videos that much. But hopefully you feel like this has been somewhat worthwhile. So then we got Jackal there. And I guess we'll go default die with him, because I don't really know how to best do that. So there you have it. And we have the jackal. Oh, he sounds a bit like a harpy. Did they change the sound effects on them, perhaps? Maybe? Not entirely sure. I like that icon there. Very Egyptian. Is that there on the regular ones, this kind of symbol? I don't really know. Do they get, like, different teleport effects, maybe? Oh, I think he's got a different trail. Oh, is he... Is that light? That's my backpack, actually, isn't it? The light that's following me around is my backpack. It feels like there is a slight dust trail, but maybe that's always been there. It's just that now it's purple. And so, yeah, there you go. Sorry, I'm just checking chat here. Do we have any mods in chat at all today, by the way, for what it's worth? I might have to start looking into getting new mods. B-Boy's one of the only mods that's super consistent at the moment. And I've never really figured that out, but we might have to look into that. WP, for real though, when is the Spud Club 1 going to go for the new haul? That's a good question. And what I will probably do is go check that out now, actually. So let's go do that.
More. Come here.
When you consider the Griffin is the price of 2 mounts, it's not bad. That's actually more expensive than I thought. I would have thought the Griffin would be like 3 of the skins or something like that. I love that bug. That's so funny when that happens. I would have thought the Griffin would have been more, genuinely. The lazy UE texture is not worth $10. You can only buy 800 gems, not 400. That's a good point as well. But, I mean, how we tackle those discussions is actually quite complicated. And you have to be... You can't just say because you're forced to spend 800 gems, you only get one thing from it. Because the other 400 gems can be spent, of that 800 pack, can be spent on something else, right? So you do... And, you know, they rely on that kind of slight trick there. But it does count for something. I think it's wrong to say that that's a black and white situation. But certainly, we can say this. It's someone who has their eye on a skin and something else from the gem store is going to value the proposition higher than someone with just the gem store, right? You get what I mean. Who only wants the skin. How did you earn enough gold to buy your Griffin? I'm a new player and I'm really struggling to make that amount of gold. Get into fractals, man. Do daily fractals after reset. Each day, do your T4s. Recommended if you really have to. They're good for your potions before you get infinite ones. Yeah, if you do that each day, you get a ton of money. And just playing the expansion, for me, that was enough. I had about 25 gold each time I went to a new one of the items. It felt pretty natural until I think maybe near the end where I started selling stuff to get it. But usually the noob advice most of the time is to check your material storage. Most people forget about it, and they actually have a ton of money in there. You can use websites like guildwars2efficiency.com to figure that stuff out as well. So what I want to do today, guys, is build a war room, and I just came here to check. So at the end of the stream, we're going to build a war room, all right? And we're going to go from there and see what we've got. Did Mo say how much the next would cost? He didn't. It was basically a non-statement. So we'll do that at the end. I'm going to squad up at the end. If you guys want to be there when the war room is built, we'll do that. Somebody asked me in chat when we're going to build the next guild hall. Once all the structure of all the buildings for this version of the hall are down, we'll move it. But I don't want to have two... I don't know. It could be a lot later. I'll talk about it with the gem store, with the games masters. But we'll have to see. I think what will happen is once we finish it on Spud 2... we'll swap or something. So Spud 1 gets there with all the decorations and Spud 2 can experience somewhere else. That might be a good idea. But I'll have to see what the games was want. So if you guys want to see that, I am online. I've got a squad. You can join it. So the thing I really wanted to talk about today is the rest of the patch. I wanted to talk about what the hell it was that they added, because they were really vague about the kind of things they did. And I wanted to ask you guys in chat, basically, what you understand of it. So I'm going to go to Wiki right now. And I'm going to see what we've got going on. You gained and lost 2,800 gold from ecto gambling. Oh, listen, you gamble till your first win and then you stop, no matter how big it is. 'Cause the more you do it, the more you lose. The moment you get lucky is right at the beginning. You never get lucky late. What is this? So do you think we won't get legendary mounts in-game? In your video, you mentioned there was no in-game gliders, but what about the legendary ones? Yeah. I've always been okay with gliders in the gem store because of the option to get the in-game ones. That's weird, Waldir, because that's an odd perspective, because it took them a long time to get all 3 gliders as we now know them out. A long time. And they've always been, in terms of accessibility, they've always been vastly dropped down. I think the only thing that actually stands against the gem store in that way is the snow glider or whatever from Winter's Day, which was like associated with a collection or something. So yeah, I don't know. As to legendary mounts, again, this is I talked about this before, itemization and stuff. I think they dropped the ball. I think that Path of Fire should have introduced another slot like with the Aqua Breather slot. I'm not going to go into the whole discussion, and I don't need people to say, but WP, this is really boring. I don't like this. We already talked about all of this. But the point is, I think that a saddle slot for a proper saddle system would have been good, and there could have been rare, masterwork, and all the way up saddles. And I think that legendary mount saddle. And I think it could have been the saddle selected that changed the way that the mount looks and stuff like that. I think that they missed a trick. So there's kind of a question. What actually happened with the gliders is the legendary item is a back piece, which just so happens to simultaneously unlock a glider. So the back is the item, and it just does a double unlock. It unlocks the glider at the same time. So in theory, we could have a legendary amulet in Season 4. And the legendary amulet just so happens to unlock a legendary mount. And all the collections around the amulet and all that stuff are called, you know, named after, are revolving around taming a mount and blah, 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 blah. Sort of, if you get what I mean. Kind of like how Aurora was all about various tasks in Living World Season 3. So maybe they could do that. I see it as a potential. And maybe that's the kick that amulets get. But I don't know, because they didn't do anything item-wise. They did this kind of hideous thing here.
In Sylvari lands? Wow.
So look, I'm sorry. It's not just Wales, guys. It's not just Wales. Everybody buys these mount skins.
The undead haven't turned everything into muck. It's gorgeous.
And again, the other important point about the whale thing, right, especially with the mount skins, is there's an upper limit. A whale will only spend 120 on this because then it ends. It caps. It's done. So this whole system is reliant on affecting more than just a couple of people. That's the point. It's not like, you know, MMOs with level boosters and that kind of shit that's not exhaustible. The mounts is the mount implementation is exhaustible. It has to affect a lot of people to get the profits they're looking for. It's not just one or two guys. Mail again. Please, for the love of... Oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. Please, see, the thing is, I literally can't stop people doing it. And I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. Please, guys, don't send me any more of these. I don't want to make people feel bad about sending them or anything, but please, let's not. Yeah? But every man needs a trusty mount. Would you like another? No, would you... I would really like if you opened one on the stream, not offline. Don't you see? All your viewers want to see it too. Let it be so. Okay, we'll do this as well. Thank you very much to whoever sent this. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say something. I'm going to delete the next one I get. If you send me one, I'm deleting it. You're literally gonna see 400 gems go in the shitter. Okay. That's it. I'm not doing anymore. They will be deleted. So please don't throw your money away. Unless you think it will be funny to watch me live delete a mount contract. And you think, you know, if that's worth 400 gems to you, go for it. But any more that gets sent, they're getting deleted. It's over, okay? Anyway, I guess we'll try. So 3, 2, 1. We got the coastal spike tail. So we got a raptor. We got one of each one gave us a different mount. So that's nice. I don't have to like replace one with another. So thank you very much. That is pretty cool. I guess we'll take a second here. Oh, he looks cool. Oh, I like him all in black. Just like I like my men. This is cool. I like the way he looks. The Obsidian Raptor. That is badass. I think that looks really, really, really good. What else has he got? Oh, he's not even black. He's just grey. Let's do various shades. Oh, this is nice. So that's pure. Let's put a little bit of shadow red in there. And I'll accent it with a little bit of dry silver. Oh, dyeing these is pretty fun. That's cool. That is very, very cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for the raptor. That's really awesome. No, it's gonna get deleted. All I want is a warm home. Please don't kill me, WP. Well, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna chop it. It's falling to pieces. And it's scaring the kids. All right. This mount's head is literally. It's decapitation. In 3, 2, 1, gone. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna accept them. I hope you found that funny. I hope that was worth it because I didn't kill that. You killed that. You put the gun in my hand. You made me pull the trigger. All right. It's dead. There'll be no pies here. All right. You literally just threw 400 gems away. So have fun with that. Yes. I think people want to see you get a super shiny. Yeah, but no. Watch someone else get a super shiny. That's the thing, though. Watch someone else get a super shiny, or go for your own super shiny. I see Reddit now. WP is so above people he can waste 400 gems. I know, right? It used to bother me when people were like, "Oh, he's rich. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's got all this money." It used to bother me, but I'm just like, I know so. I'm so comfortable now that these people just know nothing about me or anything about how much I play the game or my actual wealth, that it doesn't bother me at all anymore, because it's like, it's literally like arguing. I can't be mad, you're just wrong, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no like little nugget of truth in there. It's just inaccurate. Anyway, hey, you could watch the CSGO Lotto guys win. I hope, by the way, I'm really sorry to whoever that was. No, it would have been someone doing it for a joke, wasn't it? It would have been someone doing it as a joke. Right, seriously, I want to talk about the patch. Please, can we move on from the mount skins? Please. Please, 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 please. Let me find patch notes. Let's see. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, and I would rather if people don't put that. Don't decontextualize this stream by posting that elsewhere, because it is just going to look bad. And it is just going to be more stress for me. So please no. Right. Game updates. Scroll down. We had some balanced stuff. Okay, so listen, guys. Fixed a bug with the Choi Pinata. Fixed a bug. Okay, first, some new collection achievements for Path of Fire skins have been added. What are those? What are the new collection achievements for the new Path of Fire skins? Let's have a look here first. I'm actually hoping for some help here, chat. Do I not have them? Do I already have them? Are they rare? May her name bring a new dawn. Unlock all funerary skins. Is this it? I seem to remember on the previous stream when we got one of these funerary weapons, there was no collection. So is this War Cache of the Twin Dynasts? Oh, that is cool. Double click to select an ascended weapon that uses Grievers. What? That's pretty cool. This has to be new.
Shore Bluff Cat. Gruntsome Night Watch have tried to take it, but the beach is heavily protected. That's where we come in.
So WP the TP Baron with 40k gold in the guild bank confirmed. We don't need donations. We can buy whatever we want, even the Chaka exact. Oh, Ewendell, I just saw a clip. Please do not clip that. I will disable clips if I have to. Let's see here. How do I turn that off? Genuinely, it's not going to be funny to other people, guys. It's not going to be funny. There's no context to it. It's going to look like I'm just dicking about. Oh, there's loads of them. I don't know. I'll just leave it. What else is there? The sun is silent for this one. Battle Regalia of the Twin Dynasts. So this is armor. So funerary armor gives us a grieving armor piece. Funerary weapons give us a weapon. Is there anything else that they've added? The collection of tribute. Gather and contribute. Combine 5 tributes from alone and gathering nodes. Oh, this is these. Has this always been here, though? That's where I get funerary leggings from. Oh, I kind of want to do that. There's so much more I need to dig into with Path of Fire. 18 War Beast skins. So where are the War Beast skins from? Recipes dropped from forged foes. So this gives us Harriers. Weren't people saying that Druid is running Harriers now? Wasn't that a thing? It's pretty exciting. Hey, so yo, I'm said you hate the gem store and its implication, but seeing as aside from buying gems, the expansions and maybe some episodes, that's the only way Guild Wars 2 makes money. How else would Guild Wars 2 get money from the players to support and fund this game? Yeah, no, and I'm not proposing any easy answers. In that video, I wasn't proposing any easy answers either. The point I made was that the gem stores are compromise against the company's profits and your fun and engagement, and it is, right? So nobody looks at the gem store and enjoys the gem store ever. That isn't to say that I have some better idea. I think the reality of gaming in 2017 and beyond is that microtransactions are the thing. And then there's the whole, oh, we shouldn't call them microtransactions. We all know what we mean, right? Yeah, they might not be micro anymore. I'm just using that as a title, and I'm not breaking it down etymologically anymore, right? Anyway, I think that you know, it's kind of a reality that that's the way video games are handled now, or particularly online, frequently updated ones. And perhaps from that perspective, we can say it's justified. I don't know. I don't know their finances. I think there are right ways and wrong ways to do a gem store, certainly, but I don't have all the answers. I only have an answer to the specific issue of the mount adoption license contracts in terms of removing RNG. A legend in the flesh. This is another new one. Unlock 18 bounty hunter skins. So this is rare from doing bounties, as far as I remember. So this is nice too. This also encourages people to continue doing bounties, but perhaps exhaustively, because eventually people will have this finished, no? Oh, also, does anyone know where Alyssa is? Because I've got the last thing for her. I think it's on this character. Oh no, it's probably on my Guardian. I think my Guardian's got it. Mosaics come from stuff. Yeah, macro transactions. So I heard the argument that they're microtransactions not because of the value, the price, but because of the importance of the item you get. If that makes sense. In that's micro. Is it actually that important if you buy a single transmutation charge? No, it's a micro transaction. Is it that important if you get a skin? No, it's a micro transaction, if you get what I mean. And I don't agree with people bigging up skins in Guild Wars 2. Even when I move my own biases and, you know, a lack of engagement with Fashion Wars aside. If anything, the fact that I've played 11,000 hours of this game and I don't give a shit about Fashion Wars 2, if anything, that proves what my point. That Guild Wars is a lot more than skins, yeah? I do think it's idiotic to say that this is somehow a special case. I stand by that. Look, why are we talking about it again? Alyssa's in the Desolation right now. Desolation. Well, let me look back here then first. Hold on, because we're not even the right character. Consumable karma bonuses that drop from Path of Fire events are now automatically used when entering your inventory. Old copies will have to be used manually, but will no longer drop. So this is interesting as well. Wasn't there a lot of fun flavor and lore on those? Which now means we don't get that. Didn't they just butcher some flavor from Path of Fire there? It would have been nice if they could have had a way to strike a balance. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Rewards for several major events in Path of... So here, listen to this. Listen. Rewards... I went German for a second there. Rewards for several major events in Path of Fire have been overhauled, including Serpent's Ire and Janundu Rising. So, what does that mean? They've been overhauled. What do we know about this? And I've still never even played Janundu Rising, which I really want to, so I'm going to go there now on the stream and see whether it's up. It's in the Desolation, starting at Wayward Watch, southwest of the... Oh, no, I have done this. Oh, well, let's do it anyway and see the new reward. Southwest. The Germans are attacking. NA or EU? NA, I think I am. Because I last raided. Yeah, and I've got 150 ping. NA.
Take a look at the bounty board.
Shuko's
See if
ghost
anything
eaters are
catches
going
your
after the wandering spirits.
God, audio spam.
They could be lost forever.
Yeah, here we go. So yeah, I'm not very good at it just yet, but Infinite Horizons became a thing. Seriously, became a thing. I had a lot of fun on the stream playing it. The last time I raided playing it. I don't know whether it was just because a lot of people were playing new builds and weird builds and gimmicky builds, but comparatively, group damage-wise, the build was slamming it, doing really well. So I recommend people check it out if they can. So there I messed up. But it's kind of fiddly. So the idea of this build is I'm going to mute the dialogue. Sorry to everybody who's interested in that. The idea is you summon clones, axe clones, and you dodge to give them a Mirage cloak, which means that they will ambush. And you want to space out their ambushes just right so that you don't waste dodges. And then what you do as well is using these deceptions, these 3 deceptions, you can spawn more clones, and you can actually slip some shatters in there as well. This is the right event, right? I hope people are clear. So this guy's an elite, right? So I use the 2 to summon a clone, use the 2 to summon a clone, use my elite deception to summon a clone, and they're dying already. Now I Infinite Horizons, and I basically can spam dodge. And as much dodges as I can get and more things I can get, which each of my utilities give me. So all your utilities give you clones and mirrors to make the clones proc their ambushes. So you can keep going. So it's really nice. It's a fun, weird little balance. I wish Riddle of Sand could kind of squeeze into the build as well. Because then each time you like Cry of Frustration and then Mind Rack before quickly going Axe, 2, and then the Elite. You could reproc Riddle of Sand and stuff, and I think that could be such an interesting playstyle. But unfortunately, you're reliant on self-deception to get your generation back up, which makes this a weird juxtaposition. Generally, I think Riddle of Sand should be on the bottom line with self-deception, because these two work together lovely. Shatter potency and shatter ammunition, right? They should go together, I think. But the devs juxtaposed them. I don't know why. I think that one of the worst things the balance team is actually at the moment is figuring out the rungs of lines. I think they're actually kind of bad at it. But yeah. Anyway, that's balance. So that was obviously not a meta. Bring Arc up so we can see open world deeps. I suppose if you want. I don't think it will be that interesting in open world though, because there's a Condi build. And Condi builds are they ramp too slowly for it to really matter. Also, it's a low self-might build. It's a selfish build, extremely selfish build. So, which is fine. I think high DPS builds should be selfish builds. But what it means is random hodgepodge of people in squads. I'm not going to be beating like Guardians and. I think there's a new Hollow build that's really solid in open world as well. I think that there'll be a lot of stuff that does way better than I do here. I don't get it. Which is the meta? It's the Janundu Rising. It starts. It goes to the Shattered Ravines basically, where we are. Don't we follow NPCs down here and they tame Janundu? Also, I haven't updated Arc for ages, so this could be wildly off balance. Forge Firebase. Oh, no. Wait, hold on. Forge Firebase and Forge Udder overlook continual battle for supremacy of the ravines. So we're in range of the meta, but there's no, like, highlighted event that's going on. So is there an NPC I need to speak to trigger it? You see, I'm a Pokemon master now? I was always a Pokemon master. The ghost here start it, a Wayward Watch. Okay, so we're right next to where we need to be. These ghosts. Yeah, these are the guys from Guild Wars 1. So, what, we just wait around? Wouldn't it be better to mount an offensive? We're ghosts, so time is our ally. I'd rather let our enemies dig themselves into war on 2 fronts than fight one ourselves. Is there anyone else I should talk to? Don Coro. Agent Issa showed them up. That Agent Issa is Lissa, by the way. You know how Livia was just that random person in Godzilla Swamp the whole time? And the lady in red, oh, is it current events? I think there's a timer, but I don't know. I thought there was a player that typed that there. Remember when the good old days when Balthazar was on our side? Great heroes visited regularly and bad guys were defeated. I thought that was a player. One of the funny things that I get nostalgia about from Guild Wars 1 is the shout skills in that old game would print text bubbles above players' heads that looked just like the regular user interface. So I remember seeing warriors shouting for great justice and stuff and thinking they were nerds that were just role-playing and blah, blah, blah. I remember that. Always thinking that there were role-players around. Or shouting, save yourselves. What's the lady in red? There seems to be some kind of new current events puzzle going on, which I'm going to talk about on tomorrow's stream. People are figuring stuff out with it. It seems to involve Grenth and the underworld. All right, let's just back to patch stuff then. Let's have a look. Right-click in a bounties test. Yeah, that's fine. Fix the bug with several ascended armor recipe books. Yeah. Moving the Halloween achievement from lunatic fashion to just regular fashion. Yep, so that people can keep getting it. You can't skip personal story with the Lily of the Ellen pass anymore. Pulsing brand sparks can now be crafted. Why would I want to craft one of those? Primeval Steward in the Crystal Highlands now offers some additional crafting recipes, and some older items have had their costs rebalanced. So that's the dude in the Tomb of the Primeval Kings, right? Should we go check him out? Since this event isn't going on? Yeah, let's go have a look at that. God, this expansion is huge. How have I been there but not? Oh, because of the Cormier story. Right. That's funny. I'll just go this way. Dude, I'm impressed. If it weren't for the mountain shit, this has been a fantastic patch. They even have current events. Really? Yeah, it's been a good-looking patch. It does look like a good patch. And I quite like the balance, too. Obviously, there's always grumbling. I think See, here's the thing. It's such a shame that Guild Wars has 9 classes. Because people, they'll play the game and play their one class, and they only have 1/9 of the experience, only 1/9 of the understanding, only 1/9 of the perspective, but that's it. So Thief did not seem to have a particularly fun patch. So there are people who hate this patch, but it's because all they play is Thief. And it's such a shame, because it's like the devs have got to balance 9 things perfectly. If they don't balance all 9 things perfectly, you get like a great patch that nonetheless is pissed people off. And that's what happened with Thief here. I remember when I was a lot younger, I used to believe that the best MMOs and the best RPGs would be the ones with hundreds and hundreds of classes. Like, Guild Wars should have kept going and added 4 classes per expansion or campaign, not just 2. More. I genuinely think if I was ever in the position of joining like a giant RPG long term or whatever, I would want it to have like 4 classes, maybe 5. Leave it there. Or if you're going to have lots, keep them super simple, like we see in like hero shooters and MOBAs and stuff. It's okay if you've got billions of them, but they only have 4 skills, right? And not many ways to augment them. But classes as Guild Wars has them. And 9? Oof. Such damage. But yeah, aside from Thief, I think most people have been pretty happy. I may as well open that can of worms. Oh, chat, what don't you like about this balance-wise? What upset you? Ellie as well, actually. I'll head you off there, Ellie. Can you put yourself in the second group, WP? Sure. There you go. All right, let's see this guy. Wait, what? Is he deeper in? I forget. Maybe he's deeper in. You can try TOS for 100 classes, but I would not recommend it, though. I mean, maybe Guild Wars is just in that terrible sweet spot, right? Where it's not enough for people to decide they're going to play more than one class, but it's too many to properly balance them all, right? If there were 90 classes, and Thief kept getting terrible balance, for example, or Necro did or whatever, people would just be like, oh yeah, screw it, I'm going to play something else. But there's just, you know, maybe Guild Wars isn't that sweet spot of hell, right? They disabled him. Oh, okay, so apparently he's disabled, which is curious. He was removed due to an exploit, says Bacon's All Mine. Interesting. Good to see you, Bacon's All Mine, by the way. Wonder what was going on there. All right. So we went to see that, and that was a waste of time. Let's go back to the Lair of Forgotten, I guess. See if that event's going to run. Stuart disabled because of a bug right now. Oh, snap, I just had a sub. I've had a couple of subs as well. Hold on, let me have a look here. So, Ewendel, I kind of didn't talk about it long enough. Thanks so much, Ewendel. A resub from Kelida32, you're at 11. Just one more month, Kelida. One more. Thanks for being here so long. And Tyrenius, 26 months. Oh, you saying that you saw I was Pokemon Master now. That was a sub, was it? Jesus. X Nature Dead says, vote with my wallet. -WP exclamation mark. Well, I don't know whether that was a genuine dig at me there, but I will defend myself nonetheless. A, I didn't spend the money there. Maybe you can argue I should have shamed the people who sent me them a little bit more. But the other thing, I was never arguing for people to shame one another. I was just saying where a more reasonable place to put the discussion is. But the other thing I will say is, even if I said vote with your wallet, it doesn't necessarily invalidate what I say if I don't. I can, you know, I can say, well, it's like, imagine this. Imagine I'm talking to a guy who lives in Japan and he's playing a game I never play and he's got this big problem. And I say to him, well, your solution is to vote with your wallet. I don't identify with your problem. I don't think it's a problem. But if you think it's a problem, vote with your wallet. You know, both can exist, right? I used the wrong shout there. So there you go. I can defend myself on multiple angles there. Thank you for the sub. Booyah from Mayo. Thanks very much. Will you ever think about doing another Zero to Hero challenge? Yes, actually. This stream almost, my jingle keys, which failed. This stream was almost exactly that. It was going to be Path of Fire Zero to Hero, where I make a new account, a Zero AP account, that only has POF, no gliding, no Heart of Thorns, no Heart of Thorns Elite Specializations, totally new player, and get that perspective from Path of Fire. But I didn't do it. The other thing I was thinking of is going back to Speedrun or going back to Merciless. All things I'm excited about, but there's still so much I don't know about Path of Fire and haven't done with Path of Fire. I'd rather do those first, which led me eventually to be like, okay, let's look at the new patch. And here we are. But yeah, one of these streams will go back to those. Come on, challenge runs? They're my bread and butter, man. Enjoy them. I don't think that my sub-month count is working. I've been subbed since Father's Day of this year, and I only have 3-month badge. Oh, dude. You have been subbed for a long time. Man, that sucks. I'm so sorry, Dead Zealot. I'm so sorry. Oh, I think he was saying he was voting to support you using his wallet. Oh, I see. I see. Well, that's very, very lovely. Thank you. Oh, look, we get a champion. See, our Condi might be able to do something against the champion. So we'll jaunt to him. We'll do that. All right, so there's one. Oh, God. And then what we're going to do is pick up the mirror. Oh, it dies too quick. They die too quick. Rebalance this stuff, ArenaNet. Come on. So then what you do is you shatter, Axe 2, jaunt, and then do it again, right? And look, we did manage to get top even on a Condi build there, which is quite nice. Was the Merciless the one where you have to start over when you die? I love those. Yes, it was. That was Merciless with a ton of rules that makes the game really challenging, yeah. That was Merciless. And I'd like to get back to it. The only thing about a lot of these Mesmer builds I find at the moment is they're kind of like annoyingly spammy in their execution. So yeah, and basically when you see that recharge, you can squeeze out a cry of frustration and then rebuild. Have you looked at potential new current event NPCs yet? No, I personally, I've only seen the discussion online. I haven't been to those locations in game. And I'm kind of scared to. I want to do it with the cameras rolling so that I can make a meaningful video from it. when I do. Which character of mine would win in Fashion Wars? Probably my Condi Rev. I love that from Fashion Wars. Because it also fits so beautifully with the game's mechanics and game's theming and stuff. I think it genuinely looks like a fucking kick-ass Marganite. And the build plays how the Marganite Malix line would work and stuff. The only thing that would be better about that is if I could somehow look like a monkey. If there was like a, you know, a banana aura where there's lots of yellow bananas floating around me, and maybe on Char it would be better because you at least get that kind of gorilla style, like walking around on your knuckles thing. But yeah, I hope that this is. Oh, here you go. Here you go. With siege fire falling nearby, the Ghost of Wayward Watch scheme to use Janundu to attack Fort Hoodoo. Janundu worms. Sulfur crystals fade away. So we got to get worms. We're going to get these large sulfur crystals. The ghosts are no longer on the platform. Here you go. This is the actual thing. The other one was just sort of placeholder. What damage passer is this? It's called Arc DPS. Nifty little tool. In my opinion, not as good as BGDM back in its heyday when it was being around. BGDM gave you some really sexy looking breakdowns on like various boon up times and stuff, and I just knew how to navigate it a bit better. But this is certainly functional still, and has some other features that BGDM never had, like the build templates and stuff. And you know, I wouldn't want to put down Delta's work or anything like that. So what is this going on here? Sulfur crystal lure. So I see a crystal. A sulfur crystal is needed to add to the lure. So maybe we need to get on a skimmer and then... Oh. That was really cool. That was really cool. And get sulfur crystals from the sulfur? But I don't see... what happened to my keybind icons? Yeah, it's because they're all on my numpad, which is what my mouse is using. Oh, here you go. Yeah, no, I was... Look at this. So do we just float over them? We do. And we get a buff saying I'm carrying a sulfur crystal for 1 minute. Can I stack them? No, you only get one. One at a time. Okay. So going in the pits and then picking them up. And now there's 3 of these going on at once. We need them all done in 5 minutes. So that's how it works, guys. You want to get on your skimmer, float into the trenches. God, this music makes me happy. Oh, and then you have to press F. I would have thought it would automatically deposit, but it doesn't. Press F and then go back down. Oof, we might not make this. Portals maybe? I don't know. That did not charge up that much. We only have 4 minutes left. How late into this event did we get here? I mean, we're really going to have to play very carefully here, squad, if we're going to make this. It looks like, anyway. So contribution is 2. I reckon I can get my contribution up to maybe 5 or 6. No. Maybe a bit higher. 6 or 7? Depends if these crystals end up going further and further away, but it doesn't look like they are, so... All right. And we'll finish this, and there's apparently some new reward on this, so that'll be cool. Yeah, I was going to say the music makes me something else, but I figured I wouldn't be too crass. Does any other game other than Guild Wars 2 exist? Yeah, there's this game called Master of Olympus. Zeus, Master of Olympus. Now, someone asked me last weekend, WP, what Let's Plays have you been watching? And I didn't have a good answer for them. I'll tell you what, I've been watching a Let's Play this week. It's Gaz Plays. G-H-A-Z. Gaz Plays Master of Olympus. And it's amazing. If you ever played that game, it's from the Impression series. What a game. I'm on like part 40 at the moment. It released in the year 2000. And it makes me happy to watch Gaz playing it. I feel really bad though, because he was doing his Let's Play in like 2011 or something. And his episode 1 got like really high viewership, but then it all drops off extremely fast. Like by the time it's the episodes I'm on, there's only about like 2,000 people watching still after an initial startup of like many. And I feel really bad because as I'm watching it, he started it in 2011 and he did the first campaign and then he said, oh, I'm going on a break. And then like 2 months later, the next part releases and everyone's like, yeah, cool, yeah, there's a new one. And he says, okay, all right, we'll keep going. And he blatantly says, I'm not enjoying this game anymore, really. It's very slow, and I'm not really liking it that much, but we'll keep going. And so then he plays, and then he finishes a campaign. There's like 9 campaigns for him to do, right? So he finishes the second one. And then says, okay, guys, I'm going to go have a break and do some other games. And then like several months later, he comes back to Zeus. And he says, all right, I guess we'll continue with this. I think the next one's going to be really long, but hey, there we go. Oh, we got it. Good. How many more lures do we need to do? Well done, guys. Let's go check this crystal over here. And so then he does the campaign. And he says, all right, guys, so I'm going to go do some other games. I will see you guys later. And then there's a couple of months. And he comes back. And then finally he comes back and he says, yeah, I'm back to Zeus since nobody's watching anything else. ... And then he keeps going with the series. And this was all years ago. I don't even know if he still is on YouTube or anything. But I've been enjoying it. Gaz plays all these years later. I like your Zeus series. I just love how blatantly he admitted that he only cares about what people are watching. And he's only playing this because no one else is checking. And that's just you. And I'm not laughing at him, right? I've been through that. Everyone on YouTube goes through that. That's YouTube in a nutshell. That's life. Unless you're like an incredibly privileged, lucky person. And so, yeah, that very much amused me when he said that. What mouse do I have? I have the Logitech G600. All right, so we got 2 Janundu. I guess that means one of the events failed, perhaps, for the crystals. Is that music too loud for you guys, by the way? But otherwise, I think we did okay. I have done this event before. It was just before whatever. I've only ever done it once, and it was before this reward patch, whatever it is. So. Oh, here we go. This is looking pretty good. We'll do that. All right. So we got to space these out, basically, right? Oh no, he's in Vuln. Oh, and interrupted. Lame. Why is he in Vuln? Is he in Vuln again now? Yep. We're waiting for the Janundu to break his thing. Immune to all damage other than Janundu siege damage. Okay. That mummy's also immune. Why is there no WP LBA Let's Play? Listen, because that's kind of like a very special thing to me. And it would only ever be if I genuinely am famous and everybody loves me and everything about me and all that I would ever feel. Like, basically, I don't want to do a Let's Play when I could get so much more viewership for it in the future, if that makes sense. Right? I want as many people as possible to understand why I love that game and what's cool about that game. So I need as many people as possible to care about that. Do you get what I mean? Which basically is code for it's never going to happen because I'm never going to make it. But you get what I mean. That Steward has POF Ascended trinkets for brand sparks, laurels, and trade contracts. Okay. I'm playing this so badly. But it's a weird build to play. That's actually what I kind of like. It's so weird to play. So here I'm pretty sure a Shatter followed by Axe 2, Jaunt, Dodge is what I should do there. And then I should use X3. I don't know. There's just a lot. I've got to get used to it. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I'm playing on North America right now. So anybody who also plays North America, you're welcome to join me. This is cool because the last time I did this, absolutely no one else was here. So X2. Why can I not summon clones against the Treb? I guess I'll just do it on this guy over here. See, the thing is, I shouldn't cancel cast my own ambush because it's stronger than all of theirs. There's another ambush there. Then we probably want to do that. Then it's the shatter. And I'm not using my torch 4 off of cooldown. And then we get back into it. Something like that, maybe? See, if I could summon clones against these, I'd be happy to DPS them. Oh, there you go. I got one that time. Oh, there you go. Oh, and now they're dying. Oh, they're actually getting cleaved pretty hard on this one. That never summoned one. That did, but too late. Oh, there's a lot of cleave. The clone cleave. I'm not getting any ambushes off. Well, it's broken now. Nope. I don't know. Well, this is the last trap. So there's two rooms, there's two places. We got this, the Forge camp, and then the other camp is the Awakened camp. Oh no, we're at the Awakened camp. The Forge camp is about to be finished. This is it. So there was another camp over there, which the Zerg split off and did half. Yeah, LBA equals Little Big Adventure. Yeah. It's the game that the music from the end of my videos is from. Will you do a video on the current events-ish stuff, or it will be a stream subject? No, it'll be a video. This is going to be a video as well, actually. The rest of the patch is going to be cool. Shit. Can I jaunt back up? That would be really nice. Nope. Okay. Well, that feels quite anticlimactic. The siege engines have been destroyed. Wayward Watch is now safe from siege attacks. We get an awakened chest with some stuffs. But what about my new rewards? Damascene trophy. It's so weird seeing Zap in the inventory. See, guys, look, I'm so pricey. Oh, not pricey. I am pricey, but I'm so wealthy. Yeah, I don't understand. What changed? To reread the patch notes specifically. Rewards for several major events in Path of Fire have been overhauled, including Serpent's Ire and Janundi Rising. So people are pinging Ascended recipes in chat. So maybe that's... Yeah, a recipe for a Brand Spark Jewel. What recipes do I have, if any? None. You destroyed a mountain license, may as well just destroy the Zap. God, what? Who did that? Who in chat? Stand up. Are you still there? Whoever in chat did that. Say, speak up. I want to know who that was. No, I'm not going to destroy Zap. That was an actual heartfelt, loving thing for the guild, not for me. No, I'm not going to destroy Zap. What is wrong with you people? Swatkins818. See, now I just don't believe you, though. If it was you, then, hi, I guess. Alright, well, I don't know what that was. So let's see. Right-clicking a bounty chest will automatically take contents. Fix the bug in which Ascended Armor recipe boxes, blah, blah, blah. Move the Halloween achievement. Primeval Steward had his thing updated. A useless item called the Black Diamond's been deleted. I remember that, and rip. Chests, including buried treasure and superior buried treasure, have had some rewards changed. Right, so yeah, I haven't really interfaced with this mechanic much either. Treasure hunting kits. So, what do you think that they've changed with that, guys? Think it's more worth running around digging up treasure now? A list that has more recipes available. Alright, you guys said she's in the Desolation, so let's do that. I think if I log on to my Guardian... No comments about the frog look. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Yeah, he just released a single, didn't he? Or the start of an album, but this is all we've heard so far. I don't know whether it's an interesting song. It's basically a song, you know, it's a song about being a big shot and loved and admired and like way over respected and to the point where you can never live up to it. Going away for a long time and then like coming back to the scene and being scared you're going to disappoint everyone. That's basically what the song is about. Featuring Beyonce. It's an okay song to me, but interesting subject material. I can't imagine how tough it would be being in his head. Frog Dian is glorious. What do I think about the new Taylor Swift album? I have not listened to it. I must be honest. Right, desolation, but where desolation? Let's just click her, I guess, and the wiki knows all. Prior researcher Elisa. Desolation. Okay, so she is. Oh, she's actually right next to where we've been the entire time. Okay, fine. Someone's singing the Wooden Potatoes anthem right there. I'm gonna go on the record and say something controversial here, but that is that Path of Fire is worse than Heart of Thorns. Because Heart of Thorns had Zack suck at love. And the quality of community submissions. He also wasn't the only person singing songs and doing music and stuff at the time. If I remember anyway. Let's see. She's like... Oh, is that guy over there? Is it that Springer? Well, Path of Fire has not had so much of that. Okay, well, that's clearly not... Oh my god, that Griffin is nuts. So, Silver Mirage... I know we don't want to keep going on about this. Silver Mirage, I'm curious, did you just get a lucky roll or have you bought all 30? Because that I'm guessing is essentially one of the like crazy OP ones. You just say that because you got a song. No, it's true. Did I do the Forgotten Statue achievement? Yeah, I did, but it actually didn't really give any interesting lore at the end. Silver Mirage says they bought all 30 and that they like them all. And was that a credit card or a gold to gems transaction? Let's ask you that as well, if you don't mind saying. Yggdrasil said I got Stardust Griffin on my first roll. Wow, nice. Half and half. Half of it was gold. See, this I think people don't touch on enough. I talked a little bit on it about people take it to the extremes and they suggest that you need to spend all 120 to get what you want. The other extreme and the thing that people ignore is that as a consumer, that's why I left. The eventual statement I had in the video was you have more freedom as a consumer because this exists, and it's true. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people, to be more pointed about that comment, it's that you can go half and half, right? Anyway. Oh, you got it, but you don't have the Griffin. Wow. I think based off of what I've seen in game, a lot of people really invested into these licenses. I'm sure that calculated into Mo's response. Definitely. We're here for Alyssa. I haven't got a sausage, man. Wiki, you are not helping me enough here, man. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm an idiot. Listen, guys. It's late into the stream, right? Yeah, no, people are there with the thing. Hey, WP, I didn't manage to watch the stream live. Did you do the prophecies or just patch talk? Did you do the prophecies? I'm so sorry. What do you mean, did I do the prophecies? Are you talking about the current events thing? Because I don't really know. Oh, look, people are here for unrelated reasons. Unrelated reasons. Jesus Christ. Well, it's okay because we can graveyard rush this. Classic dungeon style. Oh yeah, baby. I'm just gonna stand back with the scepter, which is gonna put me top DPS. Just you watch. Scepter DPS, best DPS. Trust me. Come on, get in. No, where's he? No, Alright, I'm abandoning the scepter. I can't go in melee. I can't melee. Jesus, he's still got 83% health. Listen, if I'm not going to play that Healy Eddie, I'm not going to do this. I want to go to Alyssa. You're going to do a video on Mo's response or just talk about it on stream? My plans for videos right now are this. 1, I want to do a general patch video and talk about some of the subjects that have already appeared on this stream. 2, I want to... Jesus Christ. 2, I want to do a video on current events. 3, I will either have inspiration for something else, or I will then do the mount thing. I want to put the fever pitch of the discussion further away from me the next time I talk about it. So I might wait a week to talk about it, where people have got a bit more of a level head. I think that could be quite smart. And I know a lot of people are sick of the subject as it is as well. Well, shit, why am I dying out here? Just because I'm not in the ring, but I didn't even actually attack the guy. I just... Thank you to the person who rezzed me and screamed WP no. That's only got a time limit of 2 minutes on. I don't even think they're going to kill it. Nope, I haven't found the bodies or the letter yet. That's for all the people who want me to do the current events thing. That tomorrow's stream, I'm going to be that is going to be dedicated to learning about that. Alyssa is... She's actually south of it. She's south of the waypoint. I went the wrong way. She's southwest of it. I think some people have stood at her, yeah. Which is interesting because that also seems to be where this event is. Christ. Don't hurt me. I'm just moving through. Guys, there's no point fighting it with 1 minute left. The way it's scaled. The amount of dead people around. It's not going to happen, guys. So, I think she's like on that rock or something, maybe. I don't know. Jeez, we got really chunked there. Oh, that was a very regal skimmer I saw there. Yeah, I think these people. Hold on. I think we're getting close. I think we just climb now, and we're all right. It's just some NPCs and some text/lore. Yeah, but we'll still get a lot out of it. What it's suggesting, and it looks to me like the subject material is the underworld, which is a juicy thing indeed. We're gonna find out that this isn't even the character that I beat the thing on, and I don't have the tail now. So, you ready? At least so one of the other patch changes was she's updated her wares. So let's see. Does Palawa Joker's obsession with bones and skulls creep you out as much as it creeps me out? Where does he get them all? What are you doing out here? Well, I'm a historian for the Priory, and we haven't had access to this region in quite a long time. There's a lot to see and document, and it's up to me to do it. So you're just looking around and taking notes? Thanks for making it sound so dark. We read this on a previous stream. A book of glove recipes. Do I care about that? Cache of the rest. Listen, one of the biggest problems with Guild Wars 2 was just beautifully highlighted there. I see an interesting item and ask, do I care about that? Cache of the Traveler. Weren't they a con before? Is this what's improved? I recall on the last stream where we looked at this, I bought some of these and people said they're absolutely not worth it. Please make a 2-hour video about the dead bodies, says Inks. Inks, haven't you got a tea time coming up, by the way? I was tweeting Boots about it just a little bit earlier. Is that tomorrow, is it? You do. Buy it. I do want it. Really? Currency-wise, it seems perfectly okay. Oh, bounty hunter recipes. Right. And these previously were only available rare, right? From... So that's Taylor. We'll have a look at that in a second. Or, I don't know. I can't be bothered to fiddle around on character swap. So are these... I'll buy 5 of these again. And see what happens. Oh, why don't they stack? Trade contracts, gear, trade contracts, gear, trade contracts, forge metal and gear. Yeah, I didn't really get anything. When WP said Taylor, I thought he said my name and my heart sank. Taylor! Taylor, I can see you. Get away from the window, Taylor. Tidy your room. Yeah, they have a tea time. They have a tea time. Are you not on the tea time, Inks? Taylor. I like how much I can freak this guy out. Taylor. All right. Tinker Taylor Soldier Spy. Right. We do have it. Blessing of Dignity. Recitation of the Litany of Deeds. It was customary for heralds and traveling performers to gather and compete over who could tell the most impressive tales to assembled guests and foreign dignitaries. Royal Funerary Shoulder Box. And we get funerary. I've been going for light with everything, so I'm going to continue that. The sun is silent for this one. I love the names of these, man. So we've now got 3 pieces of funerary. Nice. Saucy. See this onion bargee? I'm going to eat the onion bargee. Alright. I think that's pretty good. Have you ever used a bundle item with 9k range? Probably, yeah. And decorating is like even longer range than that, I think. As far as I remember, the original range of that gun in Lion's Arch that you were supposed to use to get to the Vista, but now everybody glides / mounts or whatever, that had like infinite range for a while as well. Or at least the tooltip had infinite range. The leap itself was slightly different. You haven't had bargees from forever? Oh my god. Dude, bargees are good. Onion bargees? You can get most of the Path of Fire skins from World vs. World and PvP except Funerary, which is nice. Oh, so they reserved that just for PvE, did they? It's curious. Alright. I think, guys, let me just gloss over the patch notes again. We've been streaming a long time because of all the discussion of the mount skins and stuff that's been weighed down. Fixed animation with mini spring and mount. Fixed a bug with Marshall stats. Yeah, I don't know, really. I don't know how much they've really done. And then balance. And then just an enormous amount of balance. So maybe I can't get a full video out of other stuff that was in the patch. What do you guys think? Maybe I can. PvP, amulets added, stuff like that. Guild Wars 2 wiki notes. Dead bodies have been added to locations where the barrier to the underworld is thin, and a mysterious spirit now spawns after the Shadow Behemoth has been defeated. Ooh. We will be looking at that on tomorrow's stream. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Again, one thing, out of all the discussion that we got on the mount thing, again, on this stream, I just want to say one thing. It's what I said earlier, but I really stand by it. Anyone who, like, signed up on Patreon... That's kind of a weird thing to say because it suggests all I gave a fuck about was your money, but that's not. Anybody who showed support in any way, right? Anybody who sent a nice message, whether that was on the YouTube comments. I've read every single YouTube comment. Every single one. I've read every single Reddit comment. I've read every single tweet. I've been on top of all of it. The only things I've missed quite a lot of was Spud Club, Discord stuff. I've read it all. And anybody who said anything nice, anybody who clicked the like button to counterbalance some of the dislikes that were on there as well, because you felt something for whatever reason, right? I just want to say it didn't go amiss, right? It really meant a lot. So I just want to say thanks, everyone. And I know a good proportion of you watching this stream are, you know, some of the more involved people out there. And so there's a high chance that you're the ones who are listening to me right now. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, I guess I will leave it there. Thank you all. I'll be back tomorrow where we'll talk about the reintroduction of current event and some of the new things going on with that. And hopefully I'll have a YouTube video in the meantime for you all also. Thanks, everybody. This has been Wood and Potatoes as the Great Green Frog. And I'll see you next time. Oh, the War Room. Shit. Ah, we'll do the War Room. Pretend that outro was the outro anyway. Come on, let's go do the War Room. Everybody in squad, let's go do the War Room. Here we go. Pff, Christ. This happens too often. Look, just tune out now, all right? Just tune out. Pretend, look, it was a beautiful outro. But the people who want to see the War Room be built will build the War Room. See you later, Benji. See you later, Inks. See yous. See yous. This is like a hidden scene at the end of the movie credits. When Matt and I used to do live Visual Wood, every now and then we would do an encore, and at the very end, he'd trail out into the credits and the audio, and everyone would tune out. And then we'd turn it back on at the end, and we'd talk to whoever was left. That was cool. That was always funsies. WP is now hosting WP. Yeah, something like that. Do we do shawarma now? Yeah, I should find a way of getting outro music on the streams. Not tavern. Arena. War Room. Because of all that Wild vs. Wild the Spud Club does, right? Greetings, I'm Captain Sophia Carica. I'm here to provide resources for your guild's use of advanced tactics in the Mist War. First up, building a war room. Who are you? Captain Sophia Carica, retired 25 years ago in the Seraph. I'm what you might call an old dog. Tell me more. I've done plenty of rounds in the Mist Wars and have fought at the King's side back in the day. I got a lot to offer if you pups are willing to listen. Alright, come on then, old lady. Who's just a young lady with white hair.
I'm glad to see the guild has decided to invest in a war room. I think you'll find that a little bit of planning, tactics, defenses, and the like can go a long way toward victory.
Okay, let's follow the lovely lady. Oh man, imagine if they had updated this for Path of Fire. You know what they would have done? They would have had these NPCs get on mounts as they move around. Nobody likes her die wars. What does the war room do? It's probably the worst of the buildings in my opinion. I did a very long analysis of all these systems in my Heart of Thorns review. So if you want my full thoughts, go there. And listen to me waffle on about a ton of other stuff. But it's kind of an arbitrary gating mechanism for low-level scribes. And it also unlocks a single vendor with a single item that allows you to trade a single currency into something else for scribing recipes. That's basically it. That's what the war room is. Someone wants you to check mail. Oh, God. At East Soldier, what's on your mind? We can ask her how it fares. What's this? No, Yeah, but
Don't worry.
Marinated Quaggin.
Everything will be fine.
Oh, that's a different guy. I am gonna delete this. I'm not doing it as a joke. I genuinely don't. It genuinely is ammo for people to just spit at me if I take these. You realize
it's coming along well. Compact, utilitarian. It'll serve its purpose well. It's only temporary, of course, until a full structure can be built. I'm glad the guild's getting serious about martial resources. It'll make a big difference in the mists.
Well, there we go. So we had a little bit of dialogue there. So how fares the war room? Well, the encampment is a start, but we need to move our operational discussions to a more secure location. We need to get that building finished up. Marinated Kraken, I am sorry. I'm going to delete it. I was being deadly. I know it became a bit of a joke, but I am deadly serious. I don't feel right taking these. So. Thanks, Marinated Quaggan. I'll see you all next time.